Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are across the world. Welcome back to the league by Foxxtecca. It is round 4. We're at the Temple of Speed, Monza, here in Italy. What a venue, what a destination. Moments and brilliant moments that have happened at this track. I'm your host, Matthew Duffin, joined in the commentary box by Tristan Herbst. Once again, I'm Chris Harris is joining us as well, our special guest for tonight. The producer is Jim Cunningham, so you can thank him for all the replays and the camera shots you're going to see tonight. We have got an absolutely brilliant lineup of drivers, a brilliant championship that is poised to be fantastic, Tristan, as we enter this back half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw so many change of events last week at Road America. And I mean, I think Chris has the exact same thought as me, is what on earth are we going to be seeing tonight at the Temple of Speed? We know that Monza is a track that is very temperamental in terms of action. It can either be one where action is constant and you're only actually having a bit of a break on those straights, or it also could be a track a little bit like Monaco Formula One, where things take a little bit of a slower turn of events and the pace begins to slow down. But I'm guessing with this grid and this aggression of drivers around us over here, with the amount of consistency and performance we've seen, we're going to have an absolutely amazing race tonight. There's going to be action up and down, into corners. Turn 1 is going to be scary. What do you think, Chris?
Turn 1 is going to be very interesting. You couldn't have said it any better. With this group of drivers that we have here, we're halfway through the season. There's a lot at stake, and I don't know if guys are really going to let off. I hope they do. It's enough track for everybody to kind of work through, but turn 1 is going to be interesting.
You see the famous banked oval part of the circuit, the banked corner, of the circuit, quite a steep part that's obviously not used anymore. And like Chris and Tristan have just said there, turn 1 at the start. I missed Road America last week, so it's great to be back. But I was there for Sebring at the start line, turn 1. What will that bring us tonight? The championship standings, though, for this current season have really turned on their head from last week. And it has been interesting to watch. That of Balazs Pala leads the way, 246 points, just ahead of Michael Polasek, with Alexei Nesov dropping down the order into P3. Andre Castro from Alessandro Torchio, Nick DePaula P6, Andrew Karen 7th, Tyler Campbell in P8, Zahir Ahmed P9, and Zane Smith rounding out the top 10. But at this stage of the season, Chris, anybody is still up for grabs for this, isn't it? It is still anybody's championship.
It's really anybody's game, and that's the exciting part of it. It looked like in the beginning like there was a lot of conversation about Nesov, and rightfully so, with how skillful he is as a driver. But now look, he's in 3rd, and I don't even think he's on the grid tonight. So what that even does is just, man, it's anybody's game. The opportunities are there for anybody to jump to the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. There was the
No, go on, sorry.
No, so I was just going to say, loads of up and down that we saw last week with loads of these drivers, and that's exactly why our championship standings are looking so out of Sebring. So just to give a little bit of a recap to those watching, obviously last week it was again a double heat race 1 and 2. So Andrew Karen took 1st there, and then Balazs Pala took 2nd, which is why we see him so high up there. David Toth took 3rd there. And then in race 2, we had Michael Polasek in 1st, which is why you see him so high up. Zane Khan in 2nd, and then Andre Castro in 3rd, which is also why we see him with quite a nice climb up towards the top of the pack. Unfortunately, Alexei Nesov really having a tough one last week. Chris, I don't know if you can recall, he really was back and forth last week between both races.
Yeah, he was, and again, I can't say it enough, the talented grid that we have. Just when you think somebody's a shoo-in, then somebody else comes in. Up and down this grid, we have battles. There's so much talent in anybody's game, right? Paula's out there at 1st right now, but it's interesting to see if he can hold it or continue to expand his lead, or he drops back. So I'm excited. Turn 1 is going to say a lot in this race, and we're going to see who got what it takes. I think there's a couple of new faces on the grid tonight as well, so we'll see.
And just for you, for the ladies and gentlemen at home who may be new to the league by Foxxtecca here tonight, the format that we run is a 60-minute practice session in which we're coming to the end of now. We then have 10 minutes for qualifying, in which we'll be deciding the grid order for the first race, which is 25 minutes long. Race 2 is then 30 minutes long, and the grid is determined by the finishing result of that first race, with the exception of the top 8. They will be inverted, so whoever wins that race will be starting 8th, and 8th place in that first race will be starting on the pole for race 2. which has really provided some great drama. Let's not forget that in race 2 so far this season. But here at Monza, and I have to say, we talk about turn 1, Tristan, looks a little foggy out there, doesn't it? There's a bit of a mist around in the air at the moment. It doesn't look like it's a beautiful blue sky day, which could play a whole heap of factors going into turn 1 on that first lap.
Yeah, I mean, we actually just saw the race dashboard just before we started over here, just having a bit of a view at the track temp and the precipitation. That was at 100% coming out of this practice session. As you can see now, dropping a little bit. The chances for rain is 0, but we do have quite high precipitation, which is why you're seeing the fog levels quite nice and high right now. So like you mentioned, Matt, we're really going to have to watch to see if something like rain or some form of grip loss can actually be generated here due to weather circumstances. But right now, it's definitely a visual impairment, and we know how scary turn 1 can be. Lots of brave heroics into turn 1, a little bit late on the brakes for some of these drivers if they try and take that risk. And like you mentioned, with the fog, this could potentially end up in a little bit of a cluster going into turn 1. Yeah, so I'm a little bit worried about what's going to come out of this.
And let's not forget, you cannot win the race lap 1, turn 1, so hopefully the drivers are aware of that and a bit cautious. The other factor I want to speak to Chris about tonight is there's a lot of drivers. Now, this is obviously a solo entry event. It's not a team game. There's no teams championships, nothing like that. But there are a lot of drivers from the same team, sim racing team, on the grid tonight. We're already seeing an example here. We're on board with Adam Zane Smith, a part of the Team WRX Sim Coach Setups team, slipstreaming each other in this practice session at the moment, possibly practicing for a qualifying run, giving each other that little bit of slipstream just to try and get that few extra tenths out of their lap times. In qualifying, we could see a lot of this.
Yeah, it's interesting, like you said, this team aspect, but at the end of the day, it's every person for themselves. So these guys can they can take advantage of each other being teammates to kind of move through the pack if they need to, but at some point, they're going to have to take off the gloves with each other and go for it. So another great personality of this league. You know, you have different drivers, you have different tracks, you have the weather, and then you have the teammate aspect that eventually has to get torn apart. So it really leads to a lot of awesome stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, even during qualifying sessions as well, we've often seen teammates giving each other a couple of toes and a little bit of advantages throughout qualifying to try and generate a little bit more top-end speed and actually give a little bit of a better lap time. And we've seen that up and down throughout all of our races here so far at the league by Foxxtecca. But also, we saw it last week at the likes of Road America. We saw, obviously, David Toth and Ballas Palla. They were obviously shifting around 1st and 4th in between the top 5 over there. And we really did see a couple of team play coming in there, especially with the fight with Karen. Just trying to manage each other's expectations there. We saw Balla just actually passing Toth just towards the end of the race there, just to get a little bit of an advantage at the end. And he managed to slingshot and win that, get all the way up to like in the top 3 of that race. So the team play really does happen, even though this is a single event entry like you mentioned, Matthew. But the hidden teams really do come and try and use the advantages that they can, hey?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on, especially that qualifying session for the drivers out there coming up in just a few moments' time. A lot of good lap times coming in. 1:46.877 is the best by Ballas Palla at the moment. So great to see so far. We've got, there's 2 drivers not set a lap time at the moment, but a potential 39 car grid. What a stacked grid once again. Chris, 4 weeks into this championship, you've got to be happy with the way this championship's gone so far. Obviously, Foxxtecca providing such a fantastic championship here for all these drivers. It's really been a big hit, hasn't it? And a good success so far, 4 weeks in.
And it's been amazing. It's actually been better than I could ever imagine. One, just big shout out to you guys, everybody at Apex Racing TV, for just the professionalism, the awesome broadcast. The feedback on you guys have been absolutely amazing. And I think everybody loves the accents, that it kind of gives a lot of realism to this racing. So the feedback has been good. Big shout out to our sponsors too. The Roasted Record has been absolutely awesome as far as supporting the league, being the first supporter of the league and the official fuel of the league. So when we have that combination of your guys' amazing work, our amazing community with the drivers, and then the sponsors, it really helps drive this. And then, you know, working with All Def, you know, I was on calls with them today. I know a lot of people are waiting for the highlights, but they're getting them done. And so now being able to have these races in front of over 5 million followers in the highlights. It's just something that's been greater than I could ever imagine. And I'm looking forward to season 2, season 3, season 4, and really growing this thing. But again, we're only halfway through season 1, and every race I'm at the end of my edge of my seat. So I'm excited for it all.
And I saw in the Discord this week that there's been a bit of chatter, hasn't there, about a bit of season 2 action. Not going to dive too much into that. I don't know how much is ready to be released yet, but already talking about season 2, and that's fantastic to see, isn't it? The fact that we're already halfway through a season, we're already looking at a second season, and that just shows the strength of this community and of this championship.
Absolutely, and those conversations. The reason why I really built this is one, for the opportunity for exposure, but for the drivers, right? So being able to talk to Sam about, some thoughts on season 2 and get the feedback from the drivers about what they would want, and that's what we built this for. We want to make sure everybody's comfortable and excited about the product that we're putting out there collectively. So there has been chatter, and I definitely won't talk too far ahead. I'm still the rookie in this racing game, so sometimes I say things in the chat, and then Sam's on the side like, "Hey, Chris," I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shut my mouth. So I'm going to do that here on live too.
Yeah,
also, I was going to say also, just to note, I mean, this is just season 1. I mean, we've seen multiple leagues that have been stacked on seasons. This is just the start for Foxxtecca with the league over here. And I mean, this is also obviously your first pick. You said you enjoyed the McLaren, and it's one of the cars you really just enjoyed seeing out on track, which is why you picked it for season 1 of here. We could even see some differentiation coming into the future seasons, which could provide some variations and all kinds of different actions. So I think everybody, including myself and Matt and everybody watching, is super excited to see where this league can develop.
No, that's exactly what we're doing, and again, conversation-wise, we're looking into everything, and then the talent pool is growing, right? Like we have a real-life IMSA team participating in this race, and then we have 16-year-old Rain Woodside that at home and he's racing, and then we have Andre Castro, who's a real life NASCAR driver. Like, this is amazing to see this in this field. And then again, we talk about the United Nations all the time. Like, when you look at all the different country flags that's represented here, I love it, man. This is exactly what I wanted this to be, and I couldn't be happier.
We speak about the action, we speak about the drama of this season, and going forward into future seasons. Look at the drama on the circuit. Did we not just see the start line there? Cars all over the place, warming the tyres up, making sure the tyres and brakes are up to a good temperature and a good grip level, and there was just cars everywhere. You've seen in the Formula One in the past, you come down out of Ascari chicane down towards the Parabolica, they start to queue and fight and squabble for track position. We could get that in this qualifying session tonight. Absolutely crazy at the moment, as there is that of, I believe, Pala moved out the way of Toth, I think, there to come through. Oh, sorry, no, Toth moved out the way of Pala to sacrifice his first lap for Pala to set the flying one, and Toth will get the slipstream next time round. So already seeing that team game as drivers come towards the line to set their first flying laps of this qualifying session. Ballas Pala will go and do a 47.852. Toth's time, I don't think is retrospective at all, Tristan, because now he's going to get the slipstream and Pala's going to pay him the favour in this next lap.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was a majority of a sell lap there for Toth. We're just wanting to get Bala, like we mentioned, a little bit of a slingshot there with the slipstream, and that's exactly what's happened, because he's broken down past the 48s and the first sub 48 time up on the clock already, and it's just been lap 1. And we know how these McLarens go around any track of choice, no matter the heat of the track, is that the track does evolve and the cars also evolve, and so we're only going to see faster and faster times. But like now you mentioned, is that Toth is basically going to have the exact same as what Pala just had with the reverse switch, and now he's going to get the slingshot. And so this is what we're going to see over and over again.
Yeah, indeed he is. So it's going to be an interesting qualifying to keep our eyes on. But Pala has gone 2 purple sectors, we've just been told by our producer, in this first sector. So he's obviously not needed the slipstream to improve. Toth actually didn't improve through the second split time on this lap. Pala down in that third sector while Toth goes purple now. So this could be interesting. Pala could go even quicker without that slipstream. So sometimes useful, sometimes a bit of a hindrance. Let's see what Pala will do then. Lap times are flying in from all the drivers at the moment. Currently got 24 drivers that have set a lap time at the moment. Alexei Nesov still not in the lobby, so he's not here tonight. Remember, the drivers do have a drop round, so their lowest score of the season will not count in this championship. Let's keep our eyes on Pala and Toth then. This could be the fight for pole position. Pala, 2 purple sector 1s, and then Toth, 2 purple, 3 purple at the end. Pala does not improve, and Toth goes top of the timing screens by literally 900ths of a second. It is that close between them two.
And there is the team swap that we were talking about. He's managed to get that lap time in. And now it's going to be the opposite effect because Pala is going to want to come back and try and regain it. But talking a little bit further on the pack, we've already got 28 cars that have set some qualifying laps. A couple of names that we're well aware of. They're a little bit further down. Gregory Hooverson, Nicholas Laubish, also a little bit further down. No lap time set by them. Andre Castro, who we're on board with right now, also still trying to get a lap time out there. You can see how chaotic this field of over 38 cars is, trying to manage that lap time expectancy and just finding that correct space to get the right amount of pace. Because the issue is that if you're building up a really good lap and you get stuck behind someone in front who might be going through a bit of a yellow sector after having a bit of a mistake, it really does ruin your run for a possible good lap. And we might be experiencing that here. You can see the train just coming through the Lesmos here of the amount of cars just trying to get these qualifying laps sorted. And oh my gosh, a beautiful aerial image there of Monza. We're going to see chaos into turn 1 there. The beauty is going to get shriveled away, but let's hope it's not going to be too bad. But currently, as we still go, yep.
Zohair Ahmed and Xavier Bullner have not set a lap time at the moment. They're still in the pit lane, so they haven't yet done a lap time. Zane Khan, another quick driver who's not put a lap time in. And look at that, bump drafting down the start straight into the Prima Variante turn 1 chicane then. And look how tight this is as we ride on board here. That is how tight it is. To get 39 cars through that chicane is going to be very interesting. Toft goes quicker again, a 147.237. So he's still in that slipstream at the moment of Pala. He's the one setting the lap times at the minute. Polasek up into 3rd place. Campbell's P4 with Queen in 5th. We then got to that of Thomas Critchell, Russell Soto down in now 8th because Nick DePaul has moved up the order. Gregory Hooverson now moves up to 8th. Kyle Robertson up the order, as was Tyrone Roberts there. Who else are we waiting on to set a lap time? Nicholas Laubish yet to set a lap time. There goes Zane Khan moving up into P4. Very, very tight grid as well, by the way. Barely anything separating these top drivers.
We have a lot of new fans out here today watching. Could you guys just explain the qualifying process to them? I know it seems simple, but I know a lot of new people are in watching. They don't completely understand the process of the laps and qualifying. So let's just let them know about that.
So the qualifying process, we have 10 minutes in this qualifying session. It's the drivers that set the fastest lap times, which will determine the grid order for race 1. And obviously, there is a bit of a team game going on out there. As much as all these drivers are playing for themselves and are racing for themselves, there is a few drivers that are a part of the same team, same stable, if you will, same group, that are out there just helping each other out. So it's the order of fastest lap time that sets the grid for this first race of 25 minutes. It's coming up in a few moments' time. And really as well, Tristan, track position with 39 cars out there is huge around here. 1 minute 47 a lap. You've got to find a good enough gap to set a good lap time.
What do you think of biting my nails waiting for the start of this race? Because I keep on mentioning it, guys. Turn 1 is going to be something interesting. We've seen it at Sebring. We've seen it at Road America. All the turn 1s have provided some form of chaos. And it's not something we hope for, but it's unfortunately a reality of racing is that something like that does happen often. But you can really see it up and down the grid. Loads of drivers are trying to find their traction. Another one, as I was about to mention, there's Miles Brown with another slowdown penalty, and loads of drivers just pushing their cars just over the line and causing the stewards to give them a bit of a slowdown penalty and telling them, listen here, you've just exceeded the track limit. Let's slow it down a bit because that was a little bit unfair to the rest of the grid. And that just really proves the drivers are trying to expand and find anything possible. But just like that, the 10 minutes are over. They don't even get to, like, you know, acknowledge that something's happened here and that their lap times have been set, because that is officially our qualifying session over. We'll have a quick timings up just based on the qualifying positions going into race 1. And starting it off strong, like we saw in the team play, David Toth will start first position with a 147.2. That is a blisteringly fast time, with Ballas Palla, his teammate, in second, Michael Polasek in third, Tyler Campbell in fourth with Gregory Hooverson in fifth position, Zane Khan in sixth with Thomas Critchell in seventh. Nick DePaula pushes himself all the way up to eighth. He was sitting around about 32nd. Colin Queen down to ninth. Tyrone Roberts is rounding off our top 10 with Lucas Souza in 11th, and Alessandro Torcio rounds off the top 12.
Miles Brown will then take over 13th place with Russell Soto, P14. Anthony Cuthbert from Chris Wetz, 15th and 16th. Andre Castro from Carl Robertson down in P18. Jesse Lovren, P19, with Zane Smith, P20. Cameron Brown from Richard Wedsted. And then it's Hayden Swank and Anthony Jenkins rounding out your top 24.
Yeah, then we take it up from 25th, a little bit further down, as we'll just wait to see that just load up as it goes on. And it's currently stuck that we're getting from the producers just in the back end. We'll try and see from our live timings where this is going from. So after Anthony Jenkins, we have Tyler King in 25th, with Jack Linda in 26th. Alan Ware is in 27th, with Kingston Mullings in 28th. There we go, we can see it over there. Lance Fenderson in 29th, with Jonathan Laura's in 30th. Rain Woodside, the young 16-year-old, in 31st. Lewis Holloway in 32nd, with Mike Mann in 33rd. Andrew Yun in 34th, with Lewis Garland the 4th and 35th. And Nicholas Laubish in 36th. Three more drivers to round it off, though. Zohair Ahmad in 37th, with Cam Caraway in 38th. And rounding off this massive 39-car grid is Xavier Bulliner, and he's going to be watching all that carnage unfold. Unfortunately, guys, I know I shouldn't be saying it, but I think it's going to happen in turn one.
Man, I hope these guys just have the patience just to slow down. There's a whole track on the other side of turn one. Just relax a little bit.
Relax a little bit indeed. Nicholas Laubish there, though, Tristan, 36th place, could not get the qualifying lap in, and that just goes to show track position in qualifying huge here.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a unfortunate starting position there for Laubish. I mean, we usually see him fighting well up there for, top 10 positions, and we know the aggression level of him, especially as a driver, really trying to make it count. Same with the likes of Torcho. He thankfully managed a top 12 there. You can see him in the background. But Laubish is going to really be fighting on from the back. So definitely one to watch if you're watching this from the live stream, is that Laubish will be attempting a fight from the backside. And we'll see how we can do that, fighting through a grid of, like Chris says, a massively diverse group of drivers with a whole bunch of different skill levels here, ranging from extremely good to drivers who have also just started iRacing, but yet they're welcome here. They're welcome to come and race and show their skill. And it's always an absolute pleasure to see so many cars on grid. Look at all the swerving in the background. This is getting my nerves pumped up, guys. I don't know what to expect. The emotions are mixed here.
Kristen Angelica in the chat saying that Ryan Woodside is 21, not 16, apparently, in the YouTube chat.
He's 21.
21 years of age for Ryan Woodside. They round the parabolica. Hold on to your chairs, folks, because this is about to get spicy. The Temple of Speed. It's given the name because of how quick the circuit is. The safety car pulls into the pit lane. For week number 4, it is green and go. This leaders have already got green lights. Come on, it's a great start from the front two. They're already single file heading down towards the first chicane. And look at them, 2, if not 3 abreast in the midfield. It is all action as we head into the first braking zone. Pick your point, 100-metre board. Hard on the brakes as they all now start to fly through. It all looks pretty good. Through the first chicane, very well behaved, not a car.
There we go.
One car round, I don't think is a bad race start there. That is only one car backwards. Not sure who that is. We'll try and find out who that one was. But a great start already off the line from that of Toth. He did what he needed to do at the start.
Yeah, that's Nick DePaula and Cameron Brown losing out major positions over there. 27 down there for Nick DePaula. I believe he was the car backwards there at the start of the grid. But guys, really not a bad T1, what we're predicting. Oh, incident in the background there, just coming into the Lesmos. There's another car off. Managed to recover. Another car goes off in the exact same line, just a little bit further behind. And unfortunately, the action is scaling around this track. But one thing to mention is that Toth and Palla have played this team strat incredibly well. Like you were mentioning, Matthew, they pulled into single file almost immediately at the start of this race. And it has really pulled off. We have Alan Ware dropping majorly off grid, though. If we can swap back to him there, down to 35th now. And he's all the way down, really losing out here. He could potentially be off track as everybody just trying to scale out throughout the rest of this lap. There is timings everywhere, and there he is, just sideways out on track. And that is massive damage from a car in front. I think you said Xavier Bulliner, that's out. So Xavier Bulliner has just gone out. That's another car out on track, though, with a meatball flag. And Castro in 37th with a meatball flag there. We just saw him sideways on the track. So a little bit of action further down that we didn't get to see. Oh, that is massive damage on the rear side of that McLaren.
We'll try and get a replay of that as soon as we can see it. But here comes Pala down to have a look on his teammate in towards the Prima Variante, then in towards the first chicane. They go up and over the first curb, hitting the second one absolutely beautifully. All nice and neat from them. That was huge damage here for Castro. That was out the exit of the second leg on the run down towards the Ascari chicane. Then here's what happened. Opening lap of the race, side by side. That is Castro, the car. So it's 3 wide in front. Castro's just sat behind them 3. Does he get it? Gets a little tag.
Try to poke in. Yeah.
Oh, bang into the wall backwards. 2 hard hits into the wall. And that was really broken. So here, Ahmed is the car that has returned to the pit lanes. Fortunately, we haven't got Xavier Bulliner out on the circuit, but Andre Castro then will have to take that. I'm surprised he's not just called that one straight back to the pits with a tow here. But already the leaders having an incredible scrap. Miles Brown's doing well in P22. He's on the back then of Kingston Mullins for 22nd and 21st place here. Look at this for a bit of a scrap, bit of a train forming down the order. Lovely looking livery on Souza there. That is P11 at the moment. Defending the inside line is Roberts into the Ascari chicane. Not really an overtaking opportunity into Ascari. Get a good Ascari run though. Get the exit from this chicane, and you get that whole straight in which Souza there did not. Cuthbert now right on the back of Souza in the slipstream towards the Parabolica they go. This is Soto on the back of Zane Khan then at the moment in towards the Parabolica. Soto has a look, shows the nose, thinks better of it.
Yeah, almost making a dive there onto the inside of Parabolica. He might have the better exit though, because it looks like Soto managed to hold the outside line. He did not defect himself there. So who's going to have the better pull? The slipstream is working though for Critchell. Pulls onto the inside line of Soto. You can see him just left holding on with that Golden Eagle McLaren, but it's going to be the inside line for T1 for Critchell over here as he just comes. The braking point is approaching rapidly. Braking hard. It's a late break though for Critchell. It might be too late. And it is indeed too late. The switchback almost being performed there by Soto. And a little bit of contact a little bit further behind. Everybody scaling on. A very late break there from Critchell. And that almost could have turned into a further scaling accident throughout turn 1. But now the train and the battle continues for 9th. Soto still leads it. And Souza a little bit further on is still fighting. Cuthbert is definitely in this fight. Looking up on the inside line once again though is the likes of T. Roberts. Looking up on the inside of now that looks like Soto. And it's bouncing all over the sausage curbs here. Almost coming through the Lesmos. And there is just action all over the track here, Matthew. It is absolutely incredible to see the fighting throughout the mid-pack.
Indeed it is. What a move by Critchell. Soto nearly got the up and under and round the outside of turn 2 through the second of the Lesmos now. This is Roberts on the back of Soto. Dropped a wheel into the gravel a little bit there. That's given Roberts a great run as they come down towards the Ascari chicane. Once again, lap 3, 25-minute race. We're 5 minutes in and Roberts patiently waiting in that slipstream. Brakes now. Look at this. Beautiful part of the circuit. Left, right, back to the left. Greedy on all the curbs possible. Now use that little bit of runoff. This is the momentum you need. Great run out of Ascari. Look at him closing. Goes left, goes right now. And this is Roberts looking up the inside line into the Parabolica on Soto. The outside line's normally the better line to be on. Later on the brakes goes Roberts. And up the inside he goes. That is a great move. All set up, Chris, from the Ascari chicane.
Oh my God, I didn't think, like you said, the outside was a better line, but he went for it. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Unpredictable move.
Yeah, very unpredictable move, like you say. That was incredible stuff. A little bit further, though, behind there is more fighting. A little bit of damage there. It looks like Torchio's got huge damage in front of his car. Brown is now holding on to the inside of Mullings, and the fighting continues. There's even another train further on behind though, but the train is being held here by Jenkins in 18th position, and the train is escalating further though. Brown holding off on the inside of turn 1 chicane. Will it be enough though, holding off the outside to try and avoid the sand there? It slows your car down majorly, so you do not want to make contact with that at all. And now Mullings loses out there in turn 1. But now coming through into the next chicane, there is another overtaking opportunity. Torchio's lost a lot of downforce on the front of that car. He's got Fenderson all over the back in that very blue ultra-violet looking McLaren around the outside though. Could it be a position hold? And Torchio covers the inside line, does not let it happen. A little bit of a gravel tap there from Torchio. He's going to lose a little bit of speed, but thankfully Fenderson backing off a little bit now with Brown and Mullings in the fight now for 20th. And the fighting is escalating throughout the grid. It's incredible to see. A little bit further behind though, more fighting is happening and potentially a little bit of gaining, because guess who's climbing up the 20s is Laubish, up to 23rd already and 13 positions up. Here he comes, storming through with his yellow and black McLaren. We know how aggressive he is, and he's approaching the battle for 20th. Which way do you think this is going to go, Matthew? This can either go incredibly well for him, or we could see a potential Laubish mistake that we've seen on previous races.
This is going to go anyway. This could go anyway. You can't even call this one. Brown got back ahead of Mullings on the approach to the second chicane. He's now on the back of Fenderson, coming down towards the parabolica. Laubish really fired up for this one. Brown pulls to the outside line of Fenderson. That takes Mullings and Laubish with him. Right around the outside goes Fenderson. Just a little further up the field. There they are. Just tapping doors a little bit. Fenderson and Mullings going together. Sorry, Fenderson and Brown going together. Mullings trying to get involved on the action. Double slipstream. Nicholas Laubish is now with them, side by side. Down the start straight they come once again. It is Brown and Fenderson. Brown's just snuck in front. Now Laubish has got alongside Mullings, if not ahead of Mullings. Coming into the first chicane they go. They're nearly 4 abreast through. How have they managed to just rub doors a little bit? Laubish up and under. 3 places from the final corner to turn 2. Nicholas Laubish gains 3 places, and they're still going at it.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to nominate the new position name here. Laubish is going to make history with these massive moves he's made. He's made it in Road America last week as well with the triple overtake. We're going to have to name something called the Laubish or something with huge confidence, because 3 positions in 1 chicane is absolutely incredible. And he's already pulling away from the pack here, 20th position, and already 16 positions up after 5 laps. So incredible fighting here for Laubish, though. Fenderson is holding off because he's lost a lot of slipstream there from Brown a little bit further ahead, and Mullings is hungry to get back at him. Lindner has also joined the fight, as well as Laveran and Holloway, all of them now joining this train. Brown a little bit further, Cameron Brown, you can see him in the background there, just trying to catch up to his teammate for a little bit further up in front, and now just trying to make it work. And you can see just up on the inside line though is Cameron Brown and Holloway into Ascari. He manages to hold it, almost mounts the curb a little bit too much there, and the suspension gets a little bit unsettled. Manages to keep it neatly clean, going on the back straight here towards Parabolica, but the fighting is absolutely insane over here. There's more fighting though towards the top, because Polisek for 3rd is under pressure from Tyler Campbell right now. We're just about to receive an overtake into a diving position into turn 1, and it looks like Campbell's potentially gotten the position done. A little bit further though, because here comes Greg Hooverson to try and make another overtake, because this could be a double loss for Polisek coming out of turn 1. Incredible stuff up and down this grid, Chris.
I literally have goosebumps right now. It's not even funny. Like, this is action-packed racing right now, up and down this grid.
And this is why it's called the Temple of Speed. You don't know which way to look at times. There's that much action. Hooverson here looks like he could try and grab a position or 2. Yellow flag coming. That's a slowdown, I believe, for Campbell coming out of the second chicane, which is why the yellow flag is next to his name at the moment. So this could put that of Polisek and Hooverson right into play here. There is Campbell with that yellow flag next to his name. There he goes. Look, immediately slows down after he comes through the Lesmos, and that's going to cost him 2 places, because Hooverson, you may fancy to have a look up the inside. Still got that yellow flag next to his name, and nearly has his nose chopped off there by Polisek into Ascari. Hooverson's going to fancy his chances here. Through he goes. Lovely move at Ascari. Not really the overtaking spot on this circuit, but an absolutely blinder of a move through into up into P4 in this one. Hooverson looking like he's on for a few manoeuvres in this race. Laubish now up into 19th place. He's 2.4 off the back of Swank. Cuthbert as well, having a fight with Souza and Soto and Robertson a little further down the pack in P9, 10 and 11. Oh, in fact, there was a bit of contact there. Was that Soto? A bit of contact on the back of Roberts. Roberts gone extremely wide at the Parabolica. Loses out to Soto and Souza and Cuthbert. And in fact, may even lose out to Kyle Robertson here. Roberts back on the circuit. Now he's got Kyle Robertson hassling the back of his McLaren. Down the start straight they go to start their 7th lap of this race. Definite contact though, Soto on Roberts.
Yeah, Soto carrying a little bit too much speed through Parabolica there. Just a little bit of a rear end tap there for Roberts, but what an incredible save there from the American driver there of Pyro and Roberts. We've had him in the interview room before, and we know he is actually not the biggest fan of this car. So to save a car like that, which you aren't really intuitive with, is an incredible feat of itself, because that rear end was definitely heading towards that backside wall of Parabolica. So incredible save there for him. He can continue to try and push now and regain his position here, because Cuthbert is just a little bit further ahead. Critchell gets a slowdown penalty a little bit further up in front, trying to catch on to Khan in 8th. And the fighting is all over this grid. But looking back down towards our fight towards the 20s, it has really started to dissipate. Cameron Brown on the back of Mullings now, the position for 22nd. A little bit further down is trying to escalate a little bit. Jack Linder and Jesse Laveran has also joined that fight as the train continues. But it looks like Brown and Mullings have both pulled away completely from this fight. Torchio and Laubish also completely pulled away from this fight. So now it's all down to Mullings to hold off Brown, and Linder and Laveran just a little bit further behind. Through the Lesmos they go. A little bit of sand tapping there from Brown, trying to make his way around. Now, who can get the better run here onto the back straight just before Ascari? It could potentially be another overtake into Ascari. We've seen it happen over here. On board now with Brown to see the catch-up. As you can see, a little bit later on the brakes there compared to Mullings. It could be a better exit here onto the back straight just before Parabolica. Let's see what happens here. And it looks like it has been a little bit of a better exit for him. You'll see him slowly begin to catch up with the slipstream, but will it be enough to make a position out of Parabolica? We're going to have to stay tuned here. You can see him gaining, going onto the outside line though, and it looks like Mulling is holding the inside. Who will have the conquering position over here? Mulling's holding off and making sure to not give that position away freely though. Brown holding a lot of speed on that outside line. He does have his nose ahead, coming down onto the main straight, and it looks like Brown is just going to hold this one off. But Linder is a little bit further behind. He might join in on this fight. And now Mullings holding onto that inside line. He's getting pushed a lot. And now a little bit further behind, Linder is gaining all the slipstream to the outside line. Coming defensive now for Brown. My goodness, the overtakes and the fighting are absolutely insane here. Turn 1, Brown comes out 22nd.
Amazing stuff at the moment. And Mullings in the chat, Gordo Mullings in the chat saying, my young son, 14 years of age, Kingston Mullings, who's just been overtaken there. He's just started iRacing. This is a great experience. Well, what an experience he has got here to learn to overtake and defend if he's just started. This is the place you're probably going to learn your trade of racing here. Into the second chicane. There you go. Mullings now trying to head back down after Brown, but he's still got Linda Lovren just behind him, really. So he's got a lot of work to do. The leaders within 3/10. That's kind of been how it's been all race. Polasek now trying to hang in over there. Hooverson and Campbell. This is P12 though. This is Cuthbert trying to defend from that of Robertson at the moment, as he's trying to stay with Roberts just in front. The problem around here, Tristan and Chris, is when you lose that slipstream, that can cost you vitally in terms of defending from the car behind.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time in the straights here at Monza. So if you lose that slip, it's like losing practically a good amount of speed, around 5 to 10% of speed here that you're losing. And the cars behind could potentially serve the slip. But now, going down towards 19th position, Laubish is looking to make an attack as he comes through Parabolica. You can see him just getting aggressive there on the backside of Swank. That's Hayden Swank, also a new driver here to the league by Foxxtecca. But now Nicholas Laubish, a little bit of a better run. He took a slightly different line. We'll see if it's going to be enough, though. He is catching with the slipstream. Which side will he pick? Which side will Swank choose to defend? Because here comes Laubish. He picks the inside line with his yellow and black McLaren. It's orange versus yellow over here. Who will take the dive latest? Laubish, aggressive on the brakes, dives into turn 1, and it looks like Swank doesn't defend it too difficultly here. Now Laubish up into 18th. He's 18 positions up, a little bit further behind. Zane Smith just a little bit further now, fighting on. Tyler King is holding off on the outside, though, because another one of the Golden Eagle cars, Tyler King, is fighting onto Jenkins, coming into the next chicane, the left-right before the Lesmos, and he's going to have the inside line. Who will hold it, though? Actually pulling back, though, is Jenkins to possibly get a little bit of a better run through the Lesmos. A little bit of sand dipping there for Laubish as he's a little bit further behind. Who will have the fighting here? But my goodness, guys, it has been only 9 laps, and there has been fighting all up and down this grid.
It was incredible.
I'm gonna save us. I've been yelled at and told that that is not an eagle, it's a falcon. So we'll probably have to call them the Golden Falcons or the Fighting Falcons.
Cool. Did you see the curb Nicholas Laubish took on that second chicane as he touched the gravel there? He's already on the back of King and Jenkins, the fight we was just watching. This is Zane Smith and Wetz for 14th and 15th. There's the fight with Nicholas Laubish just behind them, the trio just in the background. Jenkins Gonna have to try and attack King here because he's got a very quick Nicholas Laubish who's taking Swank with him a little bit. The papaya orange of the McLaren just behind him as Laubish watching King. Watching Jenkins attack the back of King, patiently waiting, patiently looking for an opportunity to make the move. Gets the run. You're just going to see this car now if we stay on board. Watch Laubish just close and close. A double hole being punched in the air, allowing his McLaren to just gain a couple of extra miles per hour down this straight. That is Jenkins looking to the inside of King. Laubish has taken 3 into this first chicane before, so 2's not going to phase him if these two have a bit of a coming together. Up the inside goes Jenkins on King. Nearly taps the rear of the Golden Falcon, does Laubish, but now he is right there on the rear of King into the Curva Grande. There you go. For the 10th time of asking, Laubish holding that tight line. Looks to the outside a little bit. Watch him pull out. Now he pulls out. Gets the run. Alongside. Front wheel to rear wheel. Brakes hard into the second chicane. And the other car on the outside brakes a little later. And Laubish moved up. And look at the momentum he's got onto the back of the first Lesmos.
Absolutely incredible stuff. I was actually not even ready to take over there because I'm trying to think, geez, like Laubish is making light work over here. He's really finding the spots on this track to make that McLaren work and just climbing onto the correct curbs. We mentioned the different lines he's been taking compared to the rest of the grid here, and it's really proving to work over here. Laubish now fighting behind the back of Jenkins, looking up on the inside line though. Could it be an overtake? Coming into the next corner, onto the back straight though, on the outside of Ascari, and Jenkins gives the position to him, not wanting to fight him. He knows Laubish's skill, and Laubish is up again, 20 positions up since the start of this race. And incredible stuff there. A little bit further though in front, Polisek is up into 4th position. Grant Hooverson fighting him though, holding off on that inside line. He's going to have the inside going into turn 1. Actually almost gets a bit of a nose cut over the front of Polisek there. But now coming into turn 1, who will be the conqueror? It looks like Polisek not going to be fighting this one. He doesn't have the speed for it. So Hooverson holds off. Now Polisek a little bit further in front. Campbell is also not letting this one go, as well as Colin Queen. But now Thomas Critchell around the outside of the broken McLaren there of Zain Khan. A little bit of front-end damage there on his McLaren. A little bit of downforce loss there. And he's going to have to try and hold it off now. But Critchell trying to make it work through this top 8. And this, remember guys, this top 8 will be the switch around for the second grid. If Critchell can hold this for the next 7 or so minutes, he will be starting in P1 for race number 2, which could be an incredible feat for him to hold it off. So we'll have to see what happens going into the final 7 minutes here of race 1.
And round
That's an interesting strategy with as you start to get closer to the end of race 1. If you're one of those guys that are in 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th, you just hold your position knowing that the next race you'll start in the front of the grid. So it's really interesting to see how some of the guys play this game.
Indeed it is, and let's not get things wrong, Chris. At the moment, Zain Khan here, that front damage to his car, the lack of aero performance, will be hurting him down these straights. The long straights here at Monza, that's going to be hurting his car.
Sure, but it seems like, you know, if you could get a buddy system, and well, yeah, he's been holding his position and fighting. Him and Queen have kind of been up there steady, so it's been awesome to watch this go down with all that body damage.
It is indeed. DS in the chat, it is a McLaren series for this first season here at the league by Foxxtecca. So that's why they are all McLarens, just to answer your question there. It is a season 1, brand new season, brand new championship. It is all McLarens for this first season, but it is Toth from Pala, separated by 0.2 of a second. Zain Khan on the back foot, really has to look. He's already gone defensive so early here, just to try and negotiate into that first chicane. Here comes Critchell, though, pulls to the outside line again. Zain Khan still there on the inside line. Best of the late breakers into the first chicane they go, and Critchell has to cut across the chicane there. He's going to have to yield that position, and immediately yields that position. Zain Khan will fly past, and there's been a change for the lead. Pala has got ahead of Toth.
Yeah, now a little bit of a change for the lead though, and now the two teammates switching around. Toth has decided to take it back a little bit. Pala's going to join in on the front row over here and potentially tug his teammate along. They're already 5 seconds ahead here of Greg Hooverson in 3rd. But my goodness, and now I can see, guys, why Khan has remained in his current position. The defense coming into turn 1 over there, and to think on the straight, he's about 6 to 10 kilometers slower with that front end damage, and still managing to keep Critchell at bay there, forcing him over to just not make that position stick. But now Jenkins has lost out to Swank, and he's lost the rear. Unfortunately, as soon as we came onto him, that's a little bit of a camera scare there for him. and just losing out the rear. Thankfully, it looks like he recovered it from the
Saved
wall.
it.
We couldn't see it from our camera angle if he just managed to tap it or not, but it looks like all is safe. A little bit further down, though, Lucas Souza is now fighting on a little bit further behind Russell Soto in the Golden Falcon, shall we say, with Tyrone Roberts a little bit further down behind as well. The fight for ninth is definitely scaling, and as you can see there, just a little bit further in front is Khan. Critchell is losing a lot of time here, not getting past Khan in 7th, and so this is going to begin to scale now as the fight will get longer and longer. Remember, if Critchell gets overtaken for 8th, he loses any form of switchback he gets up into first position, so he's going to want to hold that as much as he can. And now it's been switched around down into 14th. The top 2 are switching continuously as they try and switch on strategies over here. Pala back into first, though. Toth looked up on the inside line, though, and manages to keep on to second, though. Now Zane Smith holding off the train for 14th.
He's got a bit of damage.
You know what I think, since they asked me about, tried to tell me what the name of the bird was, I think we should just name it a different bird every time. A pigeon, a pelican, a peacock. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, that's a cockatiel, guys.
There we go. This is Zane Smith looking up the inside on the exit of the first chicane. Bit of damage to the front of his McLaren as well. Look who's in the background, though. You've got Wets on the back of this trio at the moment. But look who's lurking in the background. Not a lot of time left, so I don't think Laubish is going to get on this battle, but we'll see. Although Cuthbert and Robertson side by side, Smith and Cuthbert, side by side as they come in towards the chicane once again. Nice and tight. That's Robertson just jumping over the gravel, over the curve there. Bit of a slowdown coming his way, and now Wets fancies a look at this one. This could really open the door up for Laubish. Polisek's got back ahead of Hooverson for 3rd place, and they all somehow stay as they were. Sorry, no, they don't, because Cuthbert and Smith did change places through that second chicane. Robertson, though, he's got to slow down at some point in this lap. I believe that's what the yellow flag stands for next to their name. I believe that is a slowdown to come for them. So Robertson's got to yield a little bit of time. That'll be for some track limits across the second chicane. He's yielded that time and has actually managed to stay ahead.
Yeah, he actually yielded that in the perfect time. They're just coming into the braking zone of Ascari. It looked like he lifted there instead of braking at his normal stance, and it really has helped him there, because if he lifted on that back straight, he could have been under major pressure there from Smith. Now, once again, the lead for this race switches with 1.5 minutes left, because Toth is back up into first, and in third, the fighting is continuing because everything is switching in this top 4. Polisek holding off on the inside. Greg Hooverson takes the inside line. Who will come out through turn 1 a little bit further, though, because Campbell and Queen are also fighting. Critchell finally gets ahead of Khan in 7th. But now the fighting is happening everywhere out on track. But Polisek is trying to come back. He's got his nose just ahead. Critchell's got a yellow flag slowdown. And now Polisek will have the outside line. It means that the likes of Hooverson will have the inside into next corner. Coming in hot. You can see just holding it off. Manages to mount the curbs quite neatly. Oh, a little bit of grass tap there for him. It might be a little bit of a slowdown from that patch that he touched. And now look behind, because Campbell has joined this fight and he's tugging Queen with him from Roasted Records team himself. He's got the fuel directly plugged in like a nitrous bottle, and he's really making it work just a little bit further behind there, because Polisek just trying to find a way around. Look at the battle for 3rd, coming into 30 seconds left of this race. Incredible stuff.
There's going to be 1 lap left after this. I think, anyway, if my calculations are correct, there will be 1 lap left. Hooverson to the outside. Sorry, Polisek to the outside of Hooverson. Of the Ascari chicane, still side by side. What drama! Ooh. And Hooverson somehow manages to hang on to all of that one. And it's 4 for 3rd. 4 cars for 1 podium spot. This is absolutely incredible. Critchell has finally got past Zane Khan yet again. He hasn't, because Zane Khan's got him back. Polisek now side by side with Campbell. Had a look up the inside of Hooverson into the Parabolica. We are on the final lap of this race, I do believe. No, we're taking the checkered flag. Toth and Pala 1-2 as they cross the line. Who's going to get 3rd place, though? That's going to be the biggest question. It will be Hooverson from Polisek, from Campbell, from Queen. Zane Khan might actually just hang on to P7 in this race with that damage. Here we go. It's a short run to the line because it's the first checkered flag line you can see. And they already finish it. So Critchell behind Khan couldn't get it done at the end with Soto Souza. Roberts P11. Robertson P12. This is down with the Hayden Swank. Orange McLaren 19th place. He's got Brown just in front and Brown just behind. And he's going to come across the line 19th to finish his race. And still side by side there is Fenderson and that of Mike Mann, the other Roasted Records car, coming down the back straight. Fenderson's got to have that inside line. Little damage on the front of that McLaren, but gets it turned in, gets the move done there. That's going to give him P27.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a couple of drivers coming over the checkered flag, though, with slowdown penalties. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that will also be a time penalty applied at the end of the race, just for not slowing down after checkered flags. You can see there Robertson and Smith both pushing the limits there. But the race 1 is officially over. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it will be a flipped top 8 for race number 2. But my goodness, it has been a race. Guys, this is going to be a redemption arc of note for Khan. He had front-end damage and finished 7th. He starts 2nd in race 2 with a completely clean car. This could potentially be some incredible moves. We've seen what he can do. He won driver of the day at Sebring. He could potentially be a volatile threat here for the top 8. And so we'll see what can happen over here. But guys, what are thoughts on race 1? I think it was absolutely incredible. Loads of action up and down grid, and it's what we love to see at the league here by Foxxtecca.
And a shout out to Nicholas Laubish, 20 places. He'll start 16th place on the grid. Keep your eyes on him for race 2. But the race 1 results, David Toff won the race from Ballas Pala, Gregory Hooverson from Michael Polasek, Tyler Campbell, Colin Queen, Zane Khan, Thomas Critchell, Russell Soto, and Lucas Soto rounds out your top 10. Tyrone Roberts from Kyle Robertson, Zane Smith, Anthony Cuthbert, Chris Wetz, Nicholas Laubish, man of race 1, you have to say, Tyler King, and Miles Brown, your top 18.
Following on from top 18, though, just a little bit further up in front, we had 19th and 20th, who's unfortunately just been missed over. Torchio 21st with Kingston Mullings in 22nd, Jesse Lavrin in 23rd, Anthony Jenkins 24th, Jack Linda, Lewis Holloway 25th and 6th, Lance Fennison, Mike Mann 27th and 28th, Jonathan Laura's in 29th with Richard Wedstead in 30th, with the likes of Andrew Yoon 31st, Alan Ware in 32nd with Lewis Garland the 4th and 33rd, Rain Woodside in 34th with Andre Castro. Unfortunate race for him down in 35th. Zohair Ahmad in 36th and Cam Caraway in 37th with Nick DePaula and Xavier Bulliner wrapping up this race with 12 and 14 laps respectively down from the grid. And it is a mixed start for the rest of this grid over here. The top 8 will be reversed for race number 2. And that's how we will be going forwards for this next race. Remember, there will be no qualifying here. There's a 3-minute warm-up for the drivers to get a little bit more intact and in tune with how they can take the second race a bit better. But after that, we head straight to the formation lap. And once again, the action for Heat 2 starts.
With all the excitement, drama and entertainment we had in race 1, we didn't even get to mention our fantastic sponsors here at the League by Foxxtecca. Apart from the Roasted Records car that we saw obviously on screen, we've also got our second partner, the African American Automotive Association. So them and the Roasted Records, thank you for being a partner here at the League by Foxxtecca. Chris, while we've got a bit of a warm-up period, just let the audience know a bit more about Roasted Records and the African American Automotive Association.
Yeah, so Roasted Records is a coffee shop down in Florida. I think Stewart, Florida. I'll get the correct location. They're a vinyl record shop and they're a coffee shop. So just vibes-wise, it's a really dope place to be a part of. But not only do they have awesome coffee, but they're doing their own job in sustainability in the coffee industry. They're doing some really, really dope things, trying to ensure the quality of coffee, the farming techniques, and for the local farmers where they source their coffee is fair. So, you know, it's coffee, it's vibes, and it's all with the purpose. So you can order the coffee online, theroastedrecord.com. Check them out, support. I mean, I really love supporting businesses that do things with the cause. And then them supporting us has been awesome. And then the African American Automotive Association is a business that I created back in 2020 to try to make the automotive world more diverse. The parent, Foxxtecca, is now the parent company of the African American Automotive Association. We have an education curriculum and we do various trips and things of that nature to get students, kids and adults involved in the motorsport industry and the automotive industry as a whole. So again, we want to leave this industry better than what we got it. The Roasted Record is doing the same thing with coffee. So please support those two businesses and the league. So I appreciate it.
What a fantastic few partners we've got here at the League by Foxxtecca. That was the first race of week 4. This is your first, your grid for race 2. It's Thomas Critchell, finished 8th, starts on pole position, as Tristan was just saying a moment ago. Zane Khan, a heroic 7th place. He gets second on the grid. Colin Queen from Tyler Campbell. Michael Polasek from Gregory Hooverson. And then it'll be Ballas Pala and David Toff. Dominated race 1. They've got work to do now to get back to the front of the pack. Russell Soto will be 9th with Lucas Soto 10th. From Tyrone Roberts and Kyle Robertson rounding out the top 12.
Zane Smith will take 13th with Anthony Cuthbert and 14th with Chris Wetz 15th. Nicholas Laubish starts a monumental 16th after a good 20-odd positions gained. Tyler King at 17th with Miles Brown 18th. Hayden Swank 19th with Cameron Brown in 20th. Alessandro Torcio will definitely be looking to make some more points up this race in 21st. Kingston Mullings in 22nd. Jesse Lavrin in 23rd. And Anthony Jenkins rounds off your 24th.
We got some new faces in there today. Hayden Swank, he's a late model driver. He's in one of NASCAR's late model series out of North Carolina. We got Cam Caraway, he's out of the Bay Area. Another young race car. He's 15 years old. Race car driver. He has NASCAR ambition. And so it's awesome to see some of these guys in with their liveries too. I don't know if you noticed, but Castro got a new bag. He got rid of the Marlboro kind of look, and he has this blue and black kind of livery that's looking good.
Looks pretty good there indeed. Yeah, we've got the championship standings just come up on our screen now, so we'll get them removed in a moment. So yeah, Castro looking sharp today out there on the grid at the moment.
Yeah, look at this. Okay, Andre Castro.
A lot of nice liveries out there.
He's got a nice little bit of style rocking over the grid. Oh wait, Chris, there's that yellow McCaw out on track as well. We got to point out that car out on track. Incredible stuff a little bit further on. Yeah. But we are now escalating around Parabolic. The lights will be out shortly, and you can just see once again a 39 grid. A 39 car grid over here coming around Parabolic at the start us off. Critchell will be on pole with Khan in second. If they can both hold that off respectively, this could be a great start for both drivers. They fought incredibly hard last race, but now it comes down to who can get the better launch because they're in control of this. Colin Queen is absolutely on the rear side gearbox of that red McLaren trying to find a way around. And now the lights will be coming out. The pace car's been pulled in. Who gets the better pull-off? It looks like Critchell got a nice pull-off. He's already created a bit of a gap there between Queen. Khan has not gotten the best pull-off he's wanted. He's already got a little bit of action there. Tyler Campbell is right on the rear side. Now Hooverson all the way diving up onto the inside, trying to find a position here. And both of the Hungarian drivers are already trying to fight around. That looks like the likes of one of the Canadian drivers that they're fighting around track.
Oh, and,
massive spin down the track though. Unfortunately, one of the vehicles just getting moved alongside there, just trying to find a way. But my goodness, guys, look at the launch from Critchell, already 1 second ahead of Khan. And now Colin Queen on the inside line. You can see Khan going defensive, the switchback from Queen, and it looks extremely good from this angle. This could potentially be an overtake, but now Hooverson from Campbell holding it off strong, and it looks like we've had a couple of drivers really falling off the grid. A little bit more spin, a little bit further in front, and there goes the yellow Hummingbird that we just lost. A little bit further down there, another red McLaren with front end damage. My goodness, guys, what a scaled lap one we've just had.
Yeah, again, nice through turn one. Only the one spinner in the background, and we had a little bit through the second chicane. A couple of stragglers through the second Lesmo at the moment, but Toth and Palla have stayed 7th and 8th. What a launch from Critchell. Nicholas Laubish, he's up another 5 places. He's only gained 25 places in this Monza round so far, and this is Mullings and Torcio going side by side into the Ascari chicane. Torcio, with a much healthier car in this one, manages to stay ahead in P15. There's a straggler on the outside of Ascari, and here comes that of Palla to the outside of Polosek for the Parabolica. Final corner, Palla gets in front, brakes later. Here comes Polosek though, fighting back. He's not giving up on this one yet. Staying in the slipstream of Palla is that of Toth. They're still together, still side by side. In fact, they're rubbing doors with each other now out of the Parabolica. Nothing separating these two. Toth getting a slipstream, Soto getting a slipstream. Look at them all closing in. Where's Toth going to go? He's going to bump draft his teammate to push him along, to push him in front and put himself alongside with that of Polosek. Now Palla comes to defend from Polosek, and it's all going on. And Soto's got involved around the outside, up the inside. What a move from the two Hungarians. And Russell Soto there, he fancied a piece of the action.
Oh my goodness.
The team plays here from the Hungarian team. The yellow hornbull is joined in there a little bit further behind. But my goodness, what an absolute move down the main straight over there. The bum draft and then the complete blockage over there of Polosek. He literally had nothing he can do there. And he just had to rest and maintain position there just behind Toth. And now they're fighting back up towards the top of the pack though. Critchell is under pressure because Khan is catching up, and Queen and the likes of Hooverson all tagged along there for the battle for P1. So Critchell, a little bit of breathing room for now, but it's going to start to minimize as this race goes on. You can see here comes Queen up on the sidelines there of Hooverton, and now fighting around the Roasted Records driver, really trying to find a way around here into Ascari. Could it potentially be a dive, though? He's just on the backside of that green and black McLaren, just trying to make it work. Coming through onto the back straight before Parabolica. Who gets the better exit? We'll go on board, though, with Queen to see if he can get the gainage that he needs, but it's all down to this. Look at the train, because there's the two Hungarian drivers a little bit further on behind, trying to fight it out on this train. One thing I wanted to mention, guys, and I'm just trying to make sure I'm not going crazy here. Did we have an Andrew Karen in race 1 and now we don't have him in race 2, or was he not here in race 1 either?
Not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't think Karen was in race 1.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I didn't see him, that is for sure. But what we've got here is we've got a battle of the broadcasters in Apex Racing Academy's car of Hooverson versus the sponsor of the Roasted Record car for 4th and 5th. Sorry, 3rd and 4th. Hooverson versus Queen with Zane Khan and Critchell just ahead. Keep your eyes on this pack, though, because behind Pala there is a train of cars. Toff, Polasek, Soto, Smith and Laubish are all with them, although Soto's had a poor run through the first chicane, and that's dropped him down the order just a little bit in this one. Here is Laubish pretty much pushing Smith through the Curva Grande. There you go, in towards the second chicane. Here at Monza, Smith going to cover that inside line. Back onto the racing line he goes, as Laubish has nowhere to go and has to wait. And Colin Queen, slow down he will have to do. He has taken too much of that second chicane, and that could put Campbell up into P4.
Shout out
Campbell
to
trying to
Sim
fight
Coach UK.
on.
You see that on the back of the wing of what was that, Smith? Sim Coach
Yeah,
UK.
that's Smith.
Go check him out, guys.
Yeah, we got support everywhere, it seems, around this track. We've got obviously the proper league sponsors, but then there's also the sponsors on the each individual cars that everybody is rocking. Incredible sportsmanship and just partnership shown throughout the sport here, as well on iRacing. But now Laubish already, guys, this guy's already up to 11th. He's about to break up into the top 10. He's made like a net 25 plus 30 plus to 30 positions throughout this entire round so far, and he's looking to make even more because we've only been 5 minutes throughout this round, though. Cameron Brown is in a huge pack, though, chasing onto the back, though, of Torchio and Robertson, the two McLarens, the green versus blue over here, it seems, because the blues are just a little bit further behind. Diving up on the inside, though, Brown looking for an inside position. Torchio getting forced out wide. This could be a double overtake because here comes Brown. Both of the drivers over here just trying to find a way. Torchio holding on the outside line. He gets blocked, though, by Cameron Brown. Here comes the next Brown, Miles Brown, just on the outside line, though. Who will have the better slip? You can see Torchio has been completely boxed in by the two blue McLarens. This almost looks like Team Strat. He has to pull out, though. My goodness, the fighting is being incredible over here. Oh, a little bit over there for Cameron Brown, just not finding the traction there. That's going to be a slowdown for him, and just a little bit further behind Robertson. Robertson can now pull away a little bit. Brown will look for the best overtaking position here to lose that yellow flag penalty. Cuthbert, a little bit further behind, though, is fighting Torchio. And guys, I must say, Torchio has really been struggling this race.
Well, he had the damage in race 1, didn't he? He was a bit like Zane Khan, where he had no front end on his McLaren. So he was down the order quite significantly in that first one. So on the back foot in qualifying, where is he in terms of this one? He's actually gained 6 places in this second race. But like you say, just struggling to clear the pack of cars here. This is down with who's that? That's put Cameron Brown, who's just had the slowdown. He's just served there in between the Lesmo. So up another one for Torchio. But he's got Cuthbert on the back of him. This is for 14th and 15th place in this race. 3 for the lead, though. Keep your eyes on Critchell, Corn and Hooverson. Here comes Cuthbert to the outside of Ascari. You've got to be a brave man to do it around there. And sensibly backs off. Tucks back in that slipstream. Cameron Brown and Mullings are in the background going at it, as well as Mullings runs very, very wide out of Ascari. Went onto the grass. And then look at 20th. Jenkins has got Swank Linda all over the back of him. For P20, sorry, no, that's Castro's got Jenkins, Swank and Lynette all over the back of him for P19. Here we go then. Castro having a look up the inside and can't get the move done on Lavrin.
Yeah, a little bit further behind.
Apologies, he's just past Jenkins. Apologies.
Yeah, a little bit further behind as well. 23rd, Nick DePaula has just gotten past Loras and Mike Mann in 24th and 25th. And so there's fighting everywhere up and down this grid. There's action up in front, though, for the battle for 20th. You can see DePaula's all by himself. A little bit further, though, into the first chicane. Who will have it, though? A little bit further in front now with Colin Queen. He's holding off a huge train of cars. but he does have the yellow slowdown penalty. And now
yeah.
Campbell and Pala will look to make an overtaking on this. And a little bit of a replay here. Let's just go back. This is Colin Queen holding off on the front here. This is probably where he got his yellow flag warning here for slowing down. You can see just lots of late break there for Colin Queen. Completely misses the turn 1 chicane. Thankfully follows the billiards and makes it through the slowdown track. Unfortunately still needing to slow down further. And now Campbell all over the back of him. Here comes the Hungarian drivers though. Pala alongside, and Toth will also get that pull, and Foxxtecca a little bit further behind. But now Campbell getting swarmed by the white colored car. The Hungarians are making light work. Colin Queen blocks them off because he knows how these two operate. Once they're in front, they will block you off and they will gain their position. Pala's up in front. Toth needing to get past of Campbell now, but now Colin Queen has made a little bit of headway. He's cleared off the gap a little bit further though. Laubish is in the background, and he's finally back up to where his usual fighting point is. Polisek getting blocked off though by yet another Hungarian driver trying to fight it out though. It looks like Toth holding off on that inside line will keep it going. Oh, a little bit of a save there from Campbell, but very, very close there going through Parabolica.
It was very close indeed, and yeah, huge contact. 3-1 doesn't work, and it was the contact between Toth, Polisek, and I believe it was
Campbell.
Who was it? Yeah, it was Campbell as well, who's dropped down the order. He's now got Laubish on the back of him. That is a slow. God, who's that that's slow? Is that a back? Okay, Laubish! Laubish, it's Critchell! It's Critchell who's slow, and Laubish had to avoid the back of Critchell, who was slow. Tap the rear of another car. Critchell now has the slowdown to his name as well. So what has happened to Critchell, was running in P3. He's now dropped down the order quite significantly here. This is on with Zane Smith, though. This is what has happened to Critchell. So he's side by side. That is Hooverson and Korn. So he's already in the middle now of Korn and Hooverson. And well, I'd like to see that from an overhead shot if we can get it, because I don't know what has happened there. They've gone 3 wide. That is Critchell out of this race. That is a damaged car. See if we can bring you this overhead. And we'll try and see the Nicholas Laubish bit as well. Here we go then. So they're 3 wide. Oh, Korn comes across into Critchell's path.
Yeah, that was not Critchell's fault, and that's massive suspension damage for that red McLaren.
Watch Laubish here, Tristan. Watch Laubish. Oh, no, we're not going to get to see the end of it, sadly.
Yeah, Laubish, we saw just trying to avoid him there, and I think he did make contact there, right? I think Laubish just touched on the backside, or did he manage to avoid that?
I think he tapped that of Campbell just in front of him on the rear, but I don't think it did anything to unsettle Campbell's car. I think they've carried on as they are, but yeah, that could have been another big one. Critchell's actually carrying on here. It looked like his car had a bit of damage, but he's still sat P11 at the moment. So his car looks like it's crabbing slightly. That crabbing could be because of a broken suspension of something. But, you know, P11 doing well to hang on to that at the moment. And this is Soto and Campbell going at it. Campbell going up the inside of Soto through the Parabolica. That is Laubish possibly looking to pursue on the back of... Where are we? Yeah, Laubish at the moment. Now in the slipstream of Soto. Interesting choice that he followed Soto and didn't follow that one of Campbell to go up the inside. Very smart driver is Laubish. Sees them two make contact. We saw him make 3 moves here in the first race. Is he about to make another 2? Not at the moment. He gets ahead of Campbell and Soto blocks him off.
And once again, the yellow shoe ball car. We've got loads of names stacked up here. Now it's going to be the running order. And now he makes an incredible move, keeping Laubish behind. But yeah, definitely back to Critchell. That front right has got major camber damage. You can see that tire completely zoned in towards the left side there. And that's really going to prove a little bit of a slowdown there. You can see they're just looking at the front right there. You completely, look at the steering angle, completely broken there. Definite suspension damage after that wall hit. He's trying to nurse it home though. I wouldn't know why though. We still have 19 minutes left of racing. I don't know if he can pull this on for 19 minutes. Or if he can just pull it into the pit lane. Not too sure if we have fast repair here on at the lead by Foxxtecca, but it might be worth it for him to get that checked out because he's losing a lot of time per lap, because here comes Robertson on him, and this could be another overtake on him. Cameron Brown, a little bit further down behind him in 16, is now trying to find a way around Cuthbert and the likes of Miles Brown. Oh, there's contact over the sausage curb, but thankfully no further incident there beyond. And now Brown finding a way around Cuthbert a little bit further. Castro is now joining the party a little bit further behind as well as Mullings a little bit further. And now look at the slipstream that Castro is trying to find just on the backside of Cuthbert. He's got the inside into Parabolica, and that's a double overtake for Castro. If he holds on to this, could be triple. It's triple overtake for Castro onto the inside line of Parabolica. He holds it as well. And now the train is escalating just on behind him. Everyone getting the slip behind Castro as he breaks the air down the main straight. Incredible move there by him.
Incredible from Castro there. Fantastic triple move through the Parabolica. It's not done yet, though, because Cuthbert's trying to fight this one back. Currently going on to the inside line now, a turn 2. Castro trying to hang on in there, and he's lost out just to Brown. No, I say he's lost out. He's still got that inside line for the Curva Grande at the moment. Coming through, they go. These four are having a gigantic fight at the moment here at Monza. This could go any way. In fact, that is who's that? Is that Cuthbert trying to make it 3 wide there? Interesting choice into the second chicane. They go. They all managed to get it double file through, all mounting the curb, dropping a wheel onto the gravel, and Castro comes out on top. And now look, there's even more cars joining the back. Mullings fancies an overtake into the first Lasmo, can't get it done there. So it's Castro who comes out on top, then it's Cameron Brown, Miles Brown, Cuthbert, Mullings, Laverin now in this fight as well.
We've got a huge fight that's being visible here, but we've got another massive fight down 24th. Mike Mann is holding a massive train of cars up behind him with Laura's. And a bit further is Lucas Souza and Rain Woodside down in the likes of 24th. So we'll have to go and look at that fight as well to see how he's holding on. He's actually managed to regain a little bit of a breathing room behind him. But as you can see, Laura's and Souza a little bit further behind. Woodside has dropped off a little bit with Alan Ware and Richard Wetstead on him throughout 28th and 29th. And now Ware has made a move up on the inside of the likes of Rain Woodside. A little bit further up, though, is now the massive train. This battle is absolutely huge, and here comes a dive for Jenkins on Laverin. And Jenkins just holding out on the outside, just a little bit further behind Mullings, trying to gain that slipstream around the outside of Parabolica and gain a little bit of a slingshot. Indeed, he does. He's got the outside, but he's lost the slip. Almost contact there, over the nose almost there for Laverin, trying to get out of that slip. He's holding off on the outside, trying to reserve his spot. Now back to the inside, trying to determine what's best here for him. Now joins the slip once more. Will anybody make any heroics into turn 1? Thankfully not. Everybody keeping it nice and clean, but my goodness, the fighting is absolutely scaled over here. Man, once again, losing out now to Laura's, who's jumped up onto the inside. Souza a little bit further on behind him. The fighting is scaling. 25th is the fight. A little bit further, though, Woodside has lost out again to the likes of Wetstead. And there's a spin at the back there, unfortunately. And that looks to be the contact. Massive contact there. That's Woodside and Ware, Alan Ware, having massive contact just off of turn 1. And they're not looking over each other.
Ware's trying to get away from Woodside here, but he cannot get off. Sorry, that's Woodside trying to get off of Ware, who cannot get off him. And we just, Foxxtecca's not going to be happy with that one. I wouldn't want to be in that debrief at the end of the night, Chris. Either way, Woodside and Ware pushing each other through the Curva Grande. A few slowdowns to talk about. Pala, by the way, has moved up into second place while all that's been happening. Got past Zane Khan. Toth's now behind Khan as well. But this train, of course, Laverin on that last lap, as you were saying there, Tristan, down into turn 1, he was left, right, he was looking all over. It's like there's that many cars around. He didn't know which way he could try and make a move.
Yeah, no, definitely. He was really trying to find which route would be fastest for him. But then again, if you break out of that slip, we've spoken about it so many times in this race, you lose a lot of time without that slipstream, especially on the back straight, because there is so much air that has been punched through by these cars, maintaining a bit of slipstream here, and it really does create a good suction cup there to allow for a lot of speed to be generated. So if you break out of that, it's like going into dead space. There's not much you can do in it. So you kind of have to just maintain position. Castro on the back of Brown is holding off in the back of the slipstream over here. You can see he's just trying to find the perfect place to pull out and potentially get that position down. But he also has Miles Brown a little bit further on behind him, who's also trying to make this position happen. And now Man and Laura's, as again 24th and 25th, switching places consistently, and the battle for 19th seems to be extremely close. It's just orange all over the live timings board over there. Jenkins holding off from Laverin, down from Swank, down to DePaula, down to Linda, and now comes Laverin, the dive on the inside. My goodness, it's close, and he unfortunately has to concede there. Not enough space for him to get the nose in of that car. And I might say, Chris, we speak about liveries. This is also one of the interesting liveries we get to see. It's a nicely colored gradient from like a pink to a yellow.
Yeah, very easterly floral kind of something going on. I like it. The stripe. These guys are they're fancy. I like it.
This is Zane Khan in third place. He's got the Hungarians either side of him. Pala trying to maybe help Toth get past Zane Khan at the moment, which he's not able to do. Khan trying to also try and get that second place back. And while all this is happening, they are gaining on Hooverson for the lead of this race. They're pulling away from Queen and gaining on Hooverson. So the pace of these three at the moment is phenomenal. And these three fighting for second, third and fourth while chasing down the leader. Toth now looks that inside line, being boxed in by that of Pala. On the brakes early is possibly Pala to make Zane Khan go early on the brakes. Bit of door banging at turn one. Khan has the inside line for two. Toth manages to keep it on the curb, not drop a wheel into the gravel, and that'll be Toth through at the Curva Grande. Zane Khan took straight back in, and it's the Hungarian 2-3 now. They're going to head after the leader, but Khan, you imagine, will not give this one up too easily. Brown and Castro going at it, contact, and a spinner for Castro by Cameron Brown at turn number one. That's caught out Miles Brown as well. Cuthbert's coming onto the back of this trio now to make it a quartet. And all of a sudden, what was these two just starting to pull away has put Miles Brown and Cuthbert back into play here.
There is so much action going up on like the field over here. It's actually crazy. Soto also watching the live timings. He lost 4 positions over there, and he got a yellow flag to slow down. So a little bit of an incident there for Soto. But the fighting, oh my goodness, guys. Look in the rear there, just how many cars we have stacked behind Mullings. And the fighting continues. There's a battle for 15th. There's a battle for 18th going on. There's a battle for 1st. There's a battle somewhere in the mid-pack, as you can see, Robertson catching on the back of Critchell. There is so much action up and down this grid, but now Laverin, once again, trying to fight onto the back. De Paula is in the middle of that pack, trying to make a way around, and now here comes Swank, as Chris mentioned, also racing a couple of real-life cars, trying to find his expertise here in the McLaren 720S, trying to find a way around, and the train continues to exceed. Lindner is a little bit further behind as well, but Laverin holding off strong through Ascari, is trying to keep it as close as he can behind Jenkins. Ahmad has made an overtake on Loras in 26th, and now it still continues down to the back straight towards Parabolica. This could go anywhere.
Well, this could go anywhere. And can we just give a mention to Critchell at the minute? Thomas Critchell, he's got some suspension, camber damage, whatever it is on his car. His wheel is not straight. It's at a little angle to the right. He is still in 10th place at the moment. He's fighting hard with Robertson, though, here into the first chicane. He goes. So he's got a damaged car. He's fighting as hard as he can. He stays 10th place after the first chicane. Critchell driving for his life here in this second race at Monza. Robertson's now got Torchio on the back of him, and Nicholas Laubisch up to 7th place. Don't know when that happened. 29 places gained today for the German driver.
Big shout to Critchell. What is that? Goonies never say die, right? This guy is fighting for it all.
Oh, indeed he is. He's absolutely crazy for what Critchell's managing to do. Look at that. I said about a 1 o'clock sort of angle on his steering wheel. It'll be horrible through the left-handers. Thankfully, there's not many of them at Monza for him to deal with.
Yeah, actually, that's probably why he's decided to stay out. To come to think of it, there really isn't much left turning here at Monza. So the car actually probably doesn't feel that bad. It actually might feel slightly better in the right-handers because the wheel is, kind of already assisting itself towards where it should go. But now Ahmad a little bit further down. What are we calling this one, Chris? You got to give me a bird name here. We're starting to run out of ideas here. We need one.
Sparrow.
There we go. We've got a Sparrow. We've got a speedy Sparrow here of Zain Ahmad. He's got Mike Mann of Roasted Records a little bit further behind, and Souza, another one of the yellow McLarens, holding off on in front. But back to Laverin completely misjudges that. And off on Ascari on the grass. He's lost all of the positions he's gained from fighting. He loses out to Jenkins, De Paula, and Mullings. All of them, that's Swank and Linda. He also loses out to, and he's at the back of the pack now. Just completely misjudging the breaking point of Ascari there. So super unfortunate for him. Souza is under pressure from Ahmad as well, a little bit further behind.
Yeah, Mullings is defending here from De Paula at this moment in time in this race. It's going good for him down the start straight. Mullings is now got to try and fend off De Paula in this one. De Paula right on the back of him, using that slipstream bump draft in his way as he goes closer and closer to turn number one. We move further forward though with the two Browns and that of Castro. In towards turn one they go again. Absolutely fantastic fighting at the moment from all of these drivers, and it is really looking interesting at the front because look at the four leaders. Pala, Toth and Khan are on the back of Hooverson.
Yeah, now Hooverson has got the pressure. 8 minutes left of racing. He was sitting in a little bit of dead space there with about 2 seconds of a gap to Khan, but Khan has kind of joined a little bit of a space there with both the Hungarian drivers of Pala and Toth. and they kind of carried him up towards P1. He's now just behind. You can see he's nowhere far away from that pack, and he can definitely account for some mistakes here that might be made on overtakes from the Hungarian drivers. They might unfortunately slow themselves down trying to get Hooverson to move aside, and Khan could potentially become dangerous. Guys, I did mention at the beginning of this race, Khan is a secret weapon here. He could potentially be volatile coming to the end of this race. But now Polasek on the back of Colin Queen, trying to make it away around the Roasted Records driver, and potentially coming out of Parabolica here. We'll be on board with him to see who can get the better exit here. Coming out of Parabolica, we'll see the gainage as it comes onto the back straight. You'll see the slipstream being generated and the air being punched there by Colin Queen. Will it be enough, though, for Polasek to make the position coming into turn 1? Further behind her as well, Laubish is up to 7th position, guys. Incredible stuff for Laubish. Torchio is fighting with Robertson, and Critchell still holding off with the 10th position. But my goodness, Laubish, how many positions is that net now?
This guy's ridiculous. He does it every race. It's like consistent. It's not a fluke. And his skills and strategies is taking him in. Even Khan, right? Thinking about what Khan's doing. If you can't beat him, join him in the sense that I'm not going to fight with you guys the whole race. I'm just going to let you pull me closer to the front and then make my move late. So it could be a strategy of his.
Here's Hooverson defending for the lead with Toth and Pala. And the Toth place it just gone into the gravel. Now Hooverson blocks off that of Pala. And it's all happening here. This has allowed Korn back through on Pala. He's side by side with Toth on the outside of the second Lesmo. Korn gets alongside Pala. Korn gets alongside Toth, into the second Lesmo. Again, a bit more door banging. Korn with a little wiggle. Now tucks back into the slipstream. Pala pulls out, Toth pulls out to allow Pala to have the slipstream down towards Ascari. The teamwork once again from the Hungarians into Ascari. This allows Hooverson to break away a little bit, and the teammates bump each other into Ascari, and Korn keeps hold of P3. It is all happening here at Monza, Tristan.
My goodness, the awareness from Korn there, the fact that he found that gap that was not there, that did not exist between Toth and Pala, and they managed to just bump each other. Did you see how Khan squeezed in there like the gap existed? He literally just placed that car perfectly, no contact from him there, and now trying to just fight it around again. Unfortunately, the Hungarians do have advantage here with the team fighting. They do have a way around it, and he's really lost a lot of speed here coming out of Parabolica. Unfortunately, very late there and taking a very wide approach onto the straight, and as you can see there, Toth just generating way more speed ahead there. That was Pala, generating way more speed and back onto the backside of his teammate. But Khan is not going to give this up. He's holding the inside line, though, getting a little bit blocked off, though. And he does get shoved out wide. Oh, he actually definitely gets pushed off to the gravel there. And lots of aggression, lots and lots of aggression shown there by the Hungarians. And that's unfortunately sometimes how racing goes.
So the Torchio having a scrap for 11th and 12th at the moment. This is allowing Critchell to pull even further ahead, and Robertson taps the rear of Torchio. Backwards into the wall goes the Italian driver, and Robertson and Torchio. We only caught the end of that one, but that was brewing for a little while. This has allowed Critchell to get away in that 10th spot at the moment. Just seeing in the chat that DePaula and Castro, that DePaula up 20 places. He's now up 21. Castro in this race is up 21 places as well. So they have had a brilliant second race. The highest climbers in this race too at the moment. But it is that battle for the lead. Here is DePaula. As we can see, he's on the back of Cuthbert at the moment. Cuthbert just dropping a wheel into the gravel. That'll allow him to just get even closer. DePaula on a comeback. We didn't see him much in race 1, so it must have been one of the cars that had a bit of damage at the start of race number 1. But my oh my, it has been drama here at Monza this afternoon. It's been great racing.
Yeah, absolutely. DePaula, indeed, in race 1, he had an incident on lap 1 that caused him to spin around, and now Polasek,
he's out.
Did Polasek just lose connection to the server? No, because he's completely dropped out. He's gone back to pit lane, actually. And that's actually incredible stuff. Not too sure what happened to Polasek. Maybe we can get a replay of that. Let's look back on Polasek here. Just on the backside, that looks to be Colin Queen from Roasted Records. And just fighting with him. Oh, off the track. He goes, loses the rear. Ooh, very, very big tank slapper on the front. And on the back, the whole rear side completely exposed. And that's enough for him to pull the car in and say, you know what, enough's enough. I've had enough. I've let the pot boil over, and he spilled some hot water on his foot, and he went to the pit lane. That's just not enough for him, and pulls off into the pit lane. Super unfortunate. But now Soto fighting again with the likes of Robertson, and this looks to be the likes of a Cockatoo now. fighting around on the outside of Robertson. The Jamaican driver holding off from the Golden Falcon driver, actually what it is. Now just trying to fight around really, really tight over here because Robertson holding off for that inside, coming into the next chicane over here in Monza. The 200-meter braking board is approaching quick. Who will brake last? And it looks like Robertson holding off on that inside line. It could be a switchback, though, depending on who gets the better exit. Robertson, and a switchback attempt there from Soto, just not determining the track limits over there and just eating a little bit of gravel.
Yeah, shame for Soto there. He tried to get the up and under, but it didn't work. Now, back to the leaders. Korn is not on this lead fight at the moment. Dropped off a little bit. It is Toth and Pala, the teammates, working together to try and hunt down Hooverson. Korn there, going very, very wide over that gravel trap and manages to stay on, unlike the spinner we saw moments ago. But now the two Hungarian drivers heading after the Canadian. It's Toth and Pala who took in behind, using the slipstream, trying to use their skills, their knowledge, their team camaraderie to try and win this race. We are going to be starting the final lap of this race. We crossed the line with 1 minute and 8 seconds left on the clock. Here we go then. Toth Pala versus Hooverson, final lap of this race. This could be tears at the end of this one that could allow Korn to maybe win it. Hooverson to the outside. Toth's already going up the inside into turn 1. Hooverson will have the inside at turn 2 through the chicane. Hooverson pushes him onto the gravel. That's allowed Pala through. Pala gains 2 places and Korn still coming. Hooverson and Toth there. It was all boiling over and something had to give, but it ended up Toth and Hooverson dropping down a place.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. The two Hungarian teammates have been definitely a little bit over-aggressive this race. They really have been pulling the team strategies here, and a little bit of a push-off there once again for Hooverson. Just trying to make their team strategy work here, because you know what happens here, guys. Once one of these drivers get past Pala or Toth, they fight so hard to get the other driver to the correlating place, and they can push anybody out of a position or out of the racing line, and it completely slows them down to allow for the corresponding teammate to get past. But now Khan has dived up on the inside there of Toth. He's going to try to keep him at bay, because that means that Hooverson can fight back on Pala, and he doesn't have that unfair advantage of Pala and Toth having that team strategy. So now coming through Ascari, I don't think he's going to have the run here unless Pala makes a mistake. He might just unfortunately have to accept second after that T1 incident, and that's how Foster's lap has already gone, because coming onto the back straight of here just before Parabolica, it looks like Pala is going to hold this. Coming through, you can see the braking zone, the 300, 200 is approaching their break at a roughly 100 to the 50-meter board. And now coming through the final corner of here, it seems like he's going to have it as Pala comes across for yet another win at Monza. The checkered flags Khan loses the rear coming out of Parabolica. Queen jumps up into 4th position, and Khan loses the top 4 on the final corner of the race. We'll get a replay of it. Laubish finishes 6th and Campbell in 7th, as Smith in 8th. But my goodness, guys, what has just happened on the final corner there for Khan?
I'm not sure if Khan's lost the rear, or if Khan's maybe got a bit of a tap from Toth. He was P3. I'd love to see a replay of that one. Here we go then. So this is on the run through Ascari. You've got Toth right on the back of Khan. Now look at him. Interesting to see that Hooverson didn't take the slipstream down the back straight. Look at Toth gain at this moment. Down the back straight they come towards the Parabolica. This is Toth gaining and gaining every time you go down this straight. Every inch of tarmac you take. Comes into the braking zone. Brakes a little later. Gains under the braking. Yeah, taps round. Corner. Toth's tapped. Unsettles. So he's not spun him around. But what he's done is he's unsettled the rear of the car there.
So more aggression being shown there by the Hungarian teammates. And that's just completely thrown Zayn Khan off from a 4th position. Thankfully, only losing 1 position there to Queen, because Labish was far enough to not make too much of an impact there. And I mean, again, incredible from Labish, guys. 10 positions up here, 25 positions in the last race. That's a net 35 positions gained this race. So incredible stuff there from Labish to fight all the way up from 39th, all the way up from the backside of this grid. And unfortunately, a couple of drivers just missing out. That's King, Wet, and Fenderson, as well as Polisek just at the end there, just generating an outscore. Bulliner as well, just not finishing the race. Garland comes across, though, to finish off last, unfortunately, in 34th position. But my goodness, guys, Heat 2 was even more insane than Heat 1.
Incredible. Hats off to Andre Castro and Nick DePaula. They're up 23 places in that race. And Thomas Critchell hanging on to a P9 with the damage. Absolutely fantastic. But it was Balaz Pala who took the race win from Gregory Hooverson. David Toff then was P3. Questions will be asked about that one, no doubt, for race control to decide there. Colin Queen was P4 ahead of Zane Khan. Nicholas Laubish P6. What a night for him from the back of the grid. Tyler Campbell 7th, P8 for Zane Smith, 9th place for the heroic Thomas Critchell in race number 2 there. Kyle Robertson P10. I've got to get my breath. That was incredible.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely insane. Soto finishes off in 11th with Castro in 12th. Cameron Brown 13th with Miles Brown in 14th. Nick DePaula fought really hard, finishes off 15th. Anthony Cuthbert just in 16th. Kingston Mullings in 17th, and Anthony Jenkins crosses off in 18th. Hayden Swank in 19th with Jesse Labyrinth in 20th position. A little bit further down there as well from 21st onwards, we have Jack Lindner and Zohair Ahmad really also fought his way back up. Lucas Souza in 24th with Richard Waitstead in 25th. Jonathan Laura's in 26th with Mike Mann fighting it out in 27th. Lewis Holloway in 28th. And Rain Woodside fought as well like an absolute champion with Alan Ware in 29th and 30th. Andrew Yu in 31st. Tyrone Roberts 32nd. Cam Caraway in 33rd. Lewis Garland the 4th in 34th. And unfortunately, Michael Polisek, Tyler King, Lance Fennison, Chris Wetz, and Xavier Bulliner not finishing off race number 2, unfortunately. But overall, still an incredible race for every single driver out on the grid today.
Finally.
Man, what an absolute race. And just for the record, I want everybody in TV land to know Christopher Harris is not a race steward. Do not ask me no questions. I have no answers.
Staying well away from that one this week, I assume.
Well away from that.
Well, what we can do now is we can sit back, we can relax. We've done all the hard work. We can now speak with a few drivers. And I think let's bring Kingston in. 14 years of age, he's new to iRacing. We've seen Gordon Mullings in the chat. Kingston, welcome to the commentary box. You're live on the league by Foxxtecca. First of all, 14 years of age, massive congratulations, because you drove really well tonight.
Thank you. Wait, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, you, man. Oh, he's deaf.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great time. It was so fun.
New to iRacing, we saw in the chat. How long have you been racing for?
Well, I've been doing rental karting at my local track for around 8 years. But iRacing, I think this is my first year.
Well, already you're showing your skills. Just talk us through tonight a little bit, because that was a really interesting race. Monza always provides drama and great excitement. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was really fun, but my plan was just to gain up spots on the start, only because, well, you know how hectic it gets, and if you gain up spots on the start, even if you don't have the pace, I feel like you can use your racecraft and make your way up.
It looked like every time we saw on your progression through the field today, it looked like you was always in a big train of cars. There was always a good group of cars around you. How was that, trying to attack but also defend at the same time?
It's definitely a great element of strategy. Because say you're going on the inside for the corner, but then you see somebody else coming up, you're like, oh shoot, what do I do now? Because they get the switch back on me. So I just tried to play it smart and definitely avoid any wrecks, and just see what I can do.
You've done an amazing job, man.
Oh, incredible job. Incredible job. We go to Watkins Glen next week, back on American soil. What do you think you could do around there?
Well, I feel like I do pretty all right at Watkins Glen. I raced the iRacing truck series there when they were there, so I mean it probably won't help, but at least I know the corners and everything, and I think I'll show some good pace around there. I'll do my best.
Lastly, anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Probably just the entire Foxxtecca thing. I mean, they've provided a chance for people like me to get my name out there, and you guys commentators saying my name, get myself open for sponsors. I just want to thank you guys because this is an amazing organization, and yeah.
Well, Kingston, congratulations tonight. Well done. We can't wait to see your progression through the rest of this season, and best of luck for the upcoming races.
Thank you.
Kingston Mullings there then, finishing in... finished pretty well, didn't he, this week in his races here at Monza? Tristan, anybody you'd like to speak to?
Yeah, I want to speak to the man who experienced it from the front, experienced it through the middle, and even experienced the broken car throughout the middle of the track. Thomas Critchell, welcome to the commentary box. How are you doing after that intense round at the Temple of Speed?
Oh, the adrenaline is pumping, that's for sure. And there's also sweat dripping off my forehead.
Yeah, I can
Brother,
imagine
how
that. I
did
mean,
you do it? Like the damage to your car and you not the pit. It was amazing to watch.
Well, the steering wheel was 30 degrees to the right, and I'm just as surprised as you are. I rolled through T1, straight across the runoff area, thinking, yeah, that's my day done. And then as I went across there, I thought, hang on, it feels all right. And then I checked the scoreboard and saw I was P11 and thought, right, well, I might as well try. And somehow, God knows, it just kept on driving. So yeah, got away with
well, I
one.
mean, it definitely kept on driving because you finished off strong in P9. So incredible job there to recover that car at the end, though. How was the start of the race? We know you pulled off nicely in first position there with the top 8 reverse. How did that feel with the pull off? You obviously controlled the start of the launch.
Yeah, just tried to get a good jump on everyone, and that went quite well. So I was feeling pretty good after turn one, and then it was only took about half a lap, and Zane had already cut the gap down by half a second, and I thought, okay, gonna have to work for this one. And the plan was always going to be to defend as long as I could, because I just thought that he might be a tad too quick to run away, and if I could bunch everyone up behind, then there wasn't enough space for everyone to be making moves and get to the front. That was the thought process, but unfortunately, we went 3 wide on the straight and just sort of, I'm not sure, floated into each other.
And walk us through the incident that happened there on the main straight, which obviously led to your contact on the right side of your car.
Yeah, so I've had a little look at the replay, and Zane has apologised because he's looked as well, and it looks as if he floats left into my rear left, which sort of pit manoeuvred me around his bonnet. A real shame, because I was looking forward to fighting hard for that podium. We also had like a 2.5 second gap back to everyone else, so a bit upsetting, but it is what it is.
Well, I mean, you still managed, like we mentioned, to clinch a top 10 there in 9th position. We're actually looking at your incident here on the broadcast as we speak over here. So, yeah, like you mentioned, we can see Zane is on the inside. Hooverson's also just behind you guys there.
If you keep track of the grid boxes, that's a good way to sort of know who's going
I can
straight.
definitely see that. Yeah, so Hooverson climbs up on your left side. You're definitely staying in the middle there, and it looks like Zane just eking slightly left, and that's where the contact is made. Okay. So perfect sense made there, but it's always good to see the apology being posted there. He also claimed up to his mistake, so it's good to see the sportsmanship there. But once again, incredible results here for both heats. We obviously head to Watkins Glen next week for round 5, back to the American soil. How are you feeling for Watkins?
I very much enjoy Watkins. It's a really good track. I must say I've never done any fixed setup running at Watkins, and it does tend to be a tad understeery, the fixed set. So might be a little bit different. Need to get used to it, but it's a good track. It's lots of fun and loads of overtaking opportunities. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Absolutely incredible. And is there anyone you want to thank or anybody you want to shout out before you head out?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I'm quite proud to be what looks like the only madman in England running this time zone league.
Well.
And also Dartwin Racing, me, Zane, and Richard, we all hang out every Tuesday night, and it's just a really great time. There's plenty of other people doing the same sort of thing in other leagues and enduros on the weekend. So if anyone fancies that, then head over to dartwinracing.com.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have a chat with you. We look forward to seeing what you can do in Watkins Glen next week. But other than that, hope you have an incredible night. Get your sleep in, because we know it's quite late at this time. And we'll see you next week for Watkins Glen. Have a good night, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
He said the only madman at this time of night. He's forgot about me and you, Tristan.
Oh, man, I mean, come on, dude. We got completely discluded there.
Chris, we've got a few drivers waiting to speak to. Who would you like to have a chat with?
Who's Skrilla Manila?
I believe that's Greg Hooverson.
Let's grab him in.
Alrighty.
He's in?
Yep, he's in the commentary box. Ready for you, Chris?
I think he's muted. Let me see.
Yeah.
There we go.
Number 7.
There we go. Yep.
My man, what a day for you. How does it feel?
Normal Tuesday night, I guess. Good fun.
Talk to us about race 2. How did you feel through that?
Was very happy not to get plowed by the two behind me into one, and then sort of kept my head down, just chilled really, let the spots come to me, didn't really have to do much work. And then the shunt in the middle of the straightaway sort of sucks. It's just tough when it's like two English guys on a US server. That stuff happens, but so be it. And then with it being Monza, it's just kind of tough to break away when there's two teammates behind you. There's really nothing you can do being the only guy on your team, if you will. So sort of just tried to save my stuff until they got to me. There was no point in pushing, and had enough for the last lap, more or less. But yeah, just the slipstream sort of tough. So Toth was able to sort of send one and door me a wee bit, and then we got that little bit of iRacing netcode nonsense, and then Pala was able to go through. So it is what it is. I'll take a second and a third on the night.
You've been doing some incredible racing and defending it. I mean, it's not easy to defend two teammates that are helping each other pull forward, and just watching you fight was just amazing. I literally had goosebumps as I was just watching you just fend these guys off. So obviously not P1, but hats off to you, man. Amazing skill set.
Well, I'm happy with not being on my roof as like the other weeks have been. You know, it's just been a bit of a mess, honestly. I think half the races I've been in the fence or something, just from silliness. So yeah, happy to stay with all four wheels on the car and finish in a respectable position, because I feel like the whole season I've been supposed to be here, but things sort of out of my control at times have put me at the back. But at least you get to see a car go from 40th to 10th on a bi-weekly basis or whatever.
Absolutely insane. Driver mod award for sure. Watkins Glen is up. What's your thoughts?
Is it going to be wet? I haven't looked. Yeah, I should probably prep a bit more for these considering the pace, but yeah, so be it. The Glen I like. Glen's a lot of fun. I'm sort of hesitant with the fixed setup and all the fuel. It's just going to be a left front burner. It's just going to be whoever saves the left front more than the next guy, just with the extra weight and understeer setup. So yeah, it'll be fun. I think, like I said, it'll be just a management of the left front. I haven't even seen the temps or nothing, so I don't really know what to expect. But it's the Glen. It's always good fun.
Anybody got any questions for man?
Yeah, speaking of the left front, obviously you've just mentioned the weather. You've not checked it. It'd be nice to get a wet race, wouldn't it? Hey, that'd be fantastic. That might save the left
Depends who
front
you
a little.
ask.
Well, yeah, well, this is true. For yourself, you've mentioned the weather, so possibly a bit of rain. Would you enjoy that?
Well, it said in the league post that it was some of them have a chance of rain, so it's just always in the back of your mind. But yeah, no, rain running is fun. It's just a battle to survive in the dry here. So in the wet, it's just another element, right?
Yeah, in the wet, it's another.
You should just make it snow. Screw it. Just make it snow.
I'm from Toronto, so it's fine. We get a lot of really cold weather and stuff. So yeah, snow ain't really an issue.
It's going to be an interesting one for sure at the Glen. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, of course, Apex Racing Academy, and of course ARTTV. Doing the broadcast, you guys, all the admins, etc. Takes a bit of work to get this stuff organized, so I understand. So yeah, big thanks to you guys, and hopefully we can maybe carry momentum. I don't know if this is considered momentum considering what's happened, but yeah, we'll take it. Thanks, guys.
Indeed, Gregory, congratulations. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Let's get Carl Robertson. We'll have a chat with Carl Robertson because he had a bit of an eventful race for that top 10. Carl, you're live on the league by Foxxtecca. That race too was certainly an interesting one.
Yeah, it was a wild one. I'm happy for the P10. A lot of close battling there. I had some contact with Alessandro. We were talking about it. I guess off chat, but I guess on comms as well. To Alessandro. Didn't mean to make contact with him. Coming out the first chicane, I just got into the dirt, got loose, and we came together. But no ill intentions there. Like you guys saw, we were just trying to battle hard, like I battled everybody else hard. But it was a fun race. I'm pretty happy with the P10.
Yeah, it was good pace from yourself tonight to trying to catch Critchell, who had the damage as well. It was kind of that incident, wasn't it, with Alessandro that stopped you from getting Critchell at the end?
Yeah. I was actually talking to a Critchell in the interview waiting room, and he was trying to give me the draft because he didn't want Alessandro to get up to him. And I gotta say, props to Critchell, because even with the damage, he was just rapid. So I was trying my best to get up to him. So, like I said, I'm happy with the P10. But man, he was rapid.
We're looking at the incident now on the screen at the moment. We're just seeing you hold your line through the second part of the chicane. Like you say, it's just you've gone a little too wide onto the gravel. That's what's caused you just squeezed a little bit onto the gravel. That's what's caused the incident, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was trying my best to power out, but since I was so wide, those the twin turbo V8, that's gonna give you some torque, and I just slipped in the car. Came a little bit more to the left and into Alessandro. So like I said, I apologize for it to him on comms and again here.
Watkins Glen next week. Going to be an interesting one. We've heard that the left front takes a bit of a battering. Are you looking at some rain around maybe, or what's the plan for Watkins Glen?
Watkins Glen is one of my favorite tracks, so I'm really looking forward to that race. When I saw the schedule first come out and I saw that one, I was licking my chops like, all right, this could be a good showing for me. And shockingly, Monza is not one of my best tracks, so I was surprised with today's pace. So, like I said, really looking forward to next week.
Anybody you'd like to thank?
The forecast is going to be 20 below with precipitation, so get ready for some snow.
Yes.
Do we got snow tires? I mean, I could try the rain tires, and I'll just do my best to become a drift king, for that track.
We're gonna give you guys spikes. We're gonna give you guys ice tires for this race. See what happens.
Yeah. Hey, that works for me. Whatever I got to do.
Anybody you'd like to thank in this one, Kyle?
Yeah. My team, Drive Trader Motorsport, for their support through all of this. My teammate Miles Brown. I know we were trying to do a little shake and bake there, work our way up through the field. I appreciate him working with me through this race, and we've been doing this for a while now, so I really appreciate him. Our sponsors, Me Shirts and Drive Trainer Academy, and I'd like to thank you guys for the broadcast. It's always amazing. I love watching it. Chris, thank you for having the idea to do this. It's awesome. I'm looking forward to running with you guys again in another season.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Kyle,
Thank you.
P10 in race 2. Congratulations. We'll see you next time at the Glen.
Thank you guys. Take care.
Everybody wants snow, don't they, eh? Snow seems to be the way that people are wanting to go at the minute.
We got to figure this out offline. We need skis or something. We got to figure something out.
We got to chuck on the good old chain tires on these cars and let them go ham in the snow. I'm going to bring up Cameron Brown here for a bit of a chat. Cameron, welcome into the commentary box here for the league by Foxxtecca. How was that double header there for Monza at round 4?
Yeah, it was great. That was good fun. Had some unlucky technical issues. I had my computer shut off and start back up at the end of qualifying, so my last quali lap didn't count, and I started from the pits.
Oh, that is super unfortunate.
Yeah, the pace felt really good. But honestly, starting from the pits and getting it up to 20th in the first race, and then, what was it, I think 13th or 14th in the second race. I'm really happy with the comeback.
Yeah, 100%. We're just looking at a bit of a replay now. You had a massive fight there throughout basically the entirety of the second race there with Mullings. It looked like Castro as well as Miles Brown there. Talk us a little bit through that fight, because it was constant swapping back and forth there.
Yeah, I was really surprised. Castro made a couple of mistakes. I think coming out of Ascari was the one I actually got to catch him up on. I thought he had massive damage, and that was why, because he's pretty rapid. I think he did have a little bit of damage, but he was still, I mean, when you have somebody that fast, it's impossible to drive away from him at a track like this. The other guys just got to hang around because we were always on each other's backsides.
Yeah, absolutely. We're having a bit of a look at it now. There was constant switchback and everything, but well done again on the great finish here for race 1 and race 2. Would you say definitely better than Road America?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Monza's one I feel much more comfortable at, so the pace felt a lot better. I was surprised at how clean Obviously, I didn't get to see race 1, turn 1, but coming through it didn't look nearly as bad as I thought it was going to. And race 2, I mean, I was in 20th, so I only had half the field in front of me, but I think it was actually a pretty good start.
Incredible stuff. Well, we head to Watkins Glen next week for round 5. How do you feel for the next American track?
Yeah, Watkins is going to be rough for me, I think. I struggle in an LMP2 around there, so I can't imagine it's going to get much better in a GT3.
Well, I mean, best of luck for next week. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out or mention before you head out?
effectsimulations.uk, where you can buy keys, turnkey rigs, and sims. Thanks so much, guys.
Incredible stuff. Have an awesome night. We'll see you next week for round 5 of Watkins Glen.
See you then.
We've got Tyrone Roberts, Lewis Holloway, and Rain 16. Chris, who would you like to speak with?
Let's talk to Rain.
There he is.
Welcome to the post-race chat. How do you feel?
Feel okay.
Listen, you're fine. Me and him are talking offline, and I know I made the joke about finding both of you for damaging the Foxxtecca cars, but it was only a joke. You guys had an amazing race, and listen, considering I thought there was going to be more carnage at Monza, it was an awesome race, and things like this. Well, I need to screenshot this and put this on my wall. But how do you feel overall? Eliminate that crash. How do you feel overall with your performance today?
I would say a little disappointed, but really I was just trying to survive today. That's really my mission. It was a lot of carnage, so I just say, just let me survive. That's all I want to do.
Listen, don't get down on yourself, right? This is racing. There's so much experience out there. And these guys make mistakes, and they've been doing this for years. We have pros on this circuit that make mistakes every race. So to get down on yourself and think that, this just isn't a part of the game. And I know the guys at Apex will tell you, they do thousands of streams and races, and this is just a part of it. So don't get down on yourself at all.
Yeah, for sure.
You got next week, right? Racing. The awesome thing about racing is you live to fight another day. So you got Watkins Glen next week. You looking forward to that?
Yeah, absolutely. On to the next one. Head down and just keep on pushing.
That's it, man. You guys got any advice for the young fella racing out here?
Yeah, pretty much what you've just said, Chris, to be fair. Today's done. It's in the past. Let that one go. We move on to Watkins Glen. New race, new start, refresh, go again sort of thing. Don't let this week bother you. It's in the past now. What's done is done.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about racing is think of it as like a normal race as well. If you spend too much time looking in that rear view mirror, you're gonna hit into the backside of the car in front of you. So sometimes things happen in the races. You've got to let it go. Sometimes you got to learn from the mistakes and then keep on fighting forwards, because there's always more opportunity to learn and generate a couple more positions, generate a couple more results, and it's going to happen for you, man. You've had some incredible pace up and down the field. Looking forward to see what you can do at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I mean, the battle between me and Alan was good. Just feel bad that it had to end like that, because we were going back and forth, and that was a great battle between me and him. But just wish it didn't end up like that on that lap. Just wish it didn't go that way. But like you say, this is racing.
The best drivers have always hit their teammates. The best drivers have always hit their teammates. That's all I'm going to say.
I think I just had a Senna and Prost moment just now.
There you go. You couldn't have picked two greater drivers to pick with teammates than Senna and Prost. I was thinking Hamilton, Rosberg, maybe. You went Senna, Prost. I absolutely love that. That's fantastic.
Verstappen, Ricardo. There's so many.
It's move on to the next week and don't let this week bother you. It's in the past now. You can't change the results of today. It's all about what you do next time out. Finally, anybody you'd like to thank?
Still want to thank Foxxtecca for allowing this to happen, including Apex Racing Sim League, for y'all just putting this together. And that's all I want to thank right now.
Well, Rain, congratulations, or commiseration, should I say. Look forward to seeing what you can do next week.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That was Rain Woodside
This
there.
is what it's all about, guys, right? Yeah. Like, it's a teaching moment for the young racer. Just understanding like not only is this the competitive side of it, but it's the life lessons. And then, not everybody can get out and afford to race in real life. And so this opportunity is huge because, as you guys know, this is as close to actually being in the seat of the car you could get. And then the lessons you get from out there to in here are the same. But the awesome thing is he doesn't have to pay for a McLaren.
Exactly.
Right? He just picks up and races the next week. So this is why I love sim racing.
Nobody's hurt, nobody's injured, no cars are damaged in this process. They'll all be rebuilt and good to go for literally for another race straight after. Are we able to get one or maybe the last two in? Just waiting for confirmation from Jim, our producer. There, yeah, we can. Let's get Lewis Holloway in for a quick chat. Lewis, you're live on the League by Foxxtecca. Sum that one up for us because that was a bit chaotic tonight. Lewis.
Lewis?
Hello, Lewis. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can.
There we go. Sum that one up for us tonight because it was a little chaotic out there.
Yes, it was. Overall, I mean, the first race, I got spun around heading right into turn one. I think it was Andrew Young. He actually reached out, had a brake issue on his end, like a tech issue, so it wasn't entirely his fault. So a little bit of harm, but no foul. Overall, good first race, and then second race, just a little bit more mistakes. I think track was a little bit hotter second race, it felt like. So, yeah, a little bit not as tidy of a race for the second race, but overall, not too bad.
Not too bad. We go to the Glen next week. What can you do around the Glen?
The Glen is a track that I'm definitely a lot more familiar with compared to Monza and some of the recent ones. So I think I have a chance for some really good positioning. I've been kind of starting off towards the back around the 30s, but today qualifying, I was just shy of finishing a lap that would have put me in the top 20s. So yeah, Watkins Glen next week, I think, will definitely be a lot more comfortable. Something I'm really, really familiar with. Done some endurance racing there, so definitely excited for next week.
Indeed. We've got to quickly wrap up. So finally, anybody you'd like to thank?
Of course, as always, shout out to the Cameron Caster crew, Jesse Laverin, our team captain and owner of Cameron Caster. So I want to shout out them, friends and family, San Diego, California, Mira Mesa. I want to thank you guys for the support and looking forward to next week.
Indeed. Lewis, congratulations tonight. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. See you guys next week. Bye.
That was Monza. That was the Temple. Apologies not sure
about that.
Yeah,
apologies, my fault there.
Yeah,
sorry about that. Yeah,
I wonder where I disappeared to.
Yeah, I tried to move Lewis out, then I grabbed the wrong person. Apologies.
That was the Temple of Speed. That was Monza done and dusted. Week 4 is in the bag. We head to Watkins Glen next week before we have a week off and head to Bathurst. Chris, thank you once again for joining us in the commentary box. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been fun, guys.
And Tristan, Monza has provided us with some absolutely dramatic racing. We're going to get some rest. We're going to get some sleep. Our voices are going to need a rest, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Monza's provided some insane amount of action. We head to Watkins next week. It's also not the most boring track. It's also a track that provides loads and loads of action up and down. So super excited to see what these drivers, who we've seen are extremely aggressive and have incredible skill up and down, can do next week for round 5.
And once again, a massive thank you to our sponsors, the African American Automotive Association, and of course, the Roasted Record as well, for being partners and aboard this fantastic league here. The League by Foxxtecca. Week 4 in the bag. We head to Watkins Glen for week number 5. You know where to join us. We'll be live in the box. Myself and Tristan will be bringing you all the action, with Chris potentially back with us once again as well. But we'll see you there next time. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.